just say now, all my Shin, like Ultraman and Godzilla and all that shit, we don't need to get into any of that. Like, there's no need to get into any of that.
I didn't open any. Again, I only opened the stuff that at least two of us saw in the last like week or two. I didn't,
We should almost like
that'll make it hell of a.
We've got a lot of cleanup to do, so yeah.
Yeah, and then we should maybe like before next week's show. I mean, we're live right now, but I'll say this anyways because
welcome, boys.
Because we were 3 weeks off or whatever, and I know we had to explain to chat because there was so much. Maybe we should take some of that stuff for next week's show. You know what I'm saying, Jerry?
Yeah.
Again, it's always a.
Like, instead of doing a marathon of going through all of it, we should just, like, pepper over the next couple of weeks. Let's just be like, oh, Tubes, you watched, you know what I mean? Like, just one or two, you know? Yeah.
Here's all I'm going to say, too. I'm going to literally start the show off this way.
Hell yeah.
Everyone go watch Ninja Turtles. I'm giving you a week. I'm putting it. Yeah. I said S tier. It's an S or an A for me. Maybe I might see it again this week. Go see it because next week I'm going to do spoilers.
Hell yeah.
And
I'll be ready.
And I'm going to straight say this too. Better than freaking Spider-Man 2. Whatever. It Love is. I don't care, Jer.
Love it. I'm going to see
Hella New York shit. Hella New York shit, Jerry. Hella New York shit in there. All right, let's go.
Across the Spider.
I'm sorry. I'm a huge Ninjas fan, bro.
When does Across the Spider-Verse go to stream? Like, could I even watch that by next week?
Well, no, because the thing about Spider-Man is that, like, none of the good Spider-Man stuff is available because it should be on Disney Plus, as you would think.
Yeah.
But because Sony owns it, you would think you PlayStation boys would at least get to stream it on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can buy it, not stream it, but I can buy it right now digitally. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to buy a hard copy.
I did not undersell it. Sadu didn't we're not talking about Ninja Turtles, Sadu. So I'm not going to get into it. I didn't undersell it at all. You didn't understand what I was explaining to you, Sadu. That's fine. We'll get into your confusion next week when we talk about Ninja Turtles. Let's give the Davila Bros a chance to go see it. Me and Fats might go see it this week at the drive-in. Who knows? I know he wants to see that, and he also wants to see Barbie because he's seen neither of them. But, Jerry, what's our first topic? Let's just jump right in. We got a long night ahead of us.
I think we should just start with the two. Oh God.
Yeah, the shared screen just disappeared.
I watched. Yeah, the two that you and I watched. I watched these today. I saw you had added them. I was like, oh, I'll watch some Tubi pics.
Dude, I'm just gonna say this.
I remember the trailer for this.
I'm sorry, Jer.
I forgot it.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Bad movie.
If you would have asked me, should I watch this? I would have said, no, don't do it. It's a bad movie.
Yeah.
There's one.
Yeah.
All right. I don't even give a shit about doing spoilers on this. There's one funny moment.
It's not good.
Where Snoop Dogg's telling Jerry. This is mainly I'm talking to you because you might remember this. The only time I laughed out loud during this movie is when Snoop Dogg's telling him about how much he like piped his wife. And they're like talking about it for a minute, and then he keeps going on, and then McConaughey's like, yo, man, that's enough. And that was the way McConaughey's like, all right, dude, we've talked about it long enough. Because at first McConaughey's like, that's cool, man, I know you piped my wife, whatever. And he's like cool with it. It was like right, like a photo back, but Snoop Dogg keeps going on, and there's like one moment where he's just like, yo, man, you already told me. And that was it. The rest of the movie, Jonah Hill's going for something that I don't understand.
I didn't realize that was him.
You know the one that took me a minute? Zac Efron.
What? You just see his face. He was funny.
Isn't he the rehab buddy?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him for a minute. Jonah Hill, I was like, oh, it's clearly Jonah Hill on the golf course. I was like, oh, I know that's Jonah Hill.
But yeah, this was a terrible movie.
Horrible.
Who directed it? Anyone we know?
It's the same guy that did that other kooky movie with
Harmony Korine. He had Kids and what's the really Gummo? The other really fucked up one?
See the one I was thinking of, it was more recently. He did Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not into this guy's movies.
No, I mean Kids.
Yeah, they're dark.
Kids is an iconic skateboard film for some reason because there's quite a few professional skateboarders that appeared in it. but Kids, like, as a movie, is the weirdest, creepiest stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I never understood.
And Gummo. I don't know if you. Yeah.
No, I've never seen Gummo.
Right up there with Kids.
Yeah.
Gummo's dark.
Yeah. Kids is dark. By the end of Kids, it's a dark film.
Yeah.
This wasn't good. The Beach Bum was not good. And a bunch of big name actors.
Yeah, so in the thing, I was like, oh, Martin Lawrence is in it. I haven't seen him in something outside of Bad Boys. And so, to Don, and then he gets eaten by the shark.
Well,
it's just like...
he doesn't die, but yeah.
You know.
What, does he lose a leg or something?
He does. He loses a foot.
His foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're saving everybody from watching this. Don't watch it.
It's just not good. It's not a good McConaughey thing. It's pretty depressing. And nothing happens. I don't know. It's not.
It's like meant to be a feel-goodery, but like it's not at the same time.
It's not. No. Yeah. Exactly. They want you to be like, oh, this guy's living it up, having fun, but it really is just sad.
Yeah,
because at the end you're like, this dude's a loser. Like, and then dude, he burns all the money at the end, which, like, the whole movie's like pointless because it's all about him getting money.
Yeah.
And then at the end he burns it all, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Joker style?
I would definitely say
no, like stupid stoner style.
It's like a D minus. Like I didn't turn it off, which
is, I
guess what I would constitute an F. But
yeah.
Like,
I'd agree, Jer. It's a D minus for me because
wasn't.
Yeah. Because it's McConaughey.
Entertaining. Exactly. It was like, oh, I want to see it. Maybe something will. And I thought it was gonna be like him and Snoop running around, and Snoop was not in it a lot.
Snoop's not a good actor,
right
though.
There. No.
If Snoop would have been in it the whole time, it would have been bad.
I feel like when you see Snoop on a poster, I'm like, oh, he's in like one scene, and it's like from this trailer, I'm like, oh, he's like in this movie.
He's in it. He's in it a lot.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Is this his first like real acting role besides just like a little cameo? Oh no, he was in that horror movie. What am I talking about? The gangster demon story. Remember that from like 90?
He's been in quite a few movies over the years.
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. Yeah.
Okay.
There's something else that's like slipping my brain, but like there's
he's in the Wash.
He's the Wash. Yeah, with Eminem and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
That's actually a good movie though. That's actually I like that.
That is
movie.
A good movie. That's a great movie. I like The Wash. Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch.
And he's good in it.
He's good in Starsky and Hutch. He is good in that. Yeah, and he's good in that role. He's good at that role.
He is.
He's a good role actor. This movie was just they're asking too much out of him.
Bad movie.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it just.
It's a D minus.
Mr. Dog, we would love to have you on talk about your acting.
The reason it's a D minus though, Jerry, is because you keep hoping especially because it's McConaughey, that at some point it's gonna turn around and become good. And the whole time, even up to the end, I'm like, oh, this is gonna have some like big payout at the end. Or something, and it just does it. Yeah, and you're like, that was stupid, bro. By the time it ended, I do think the watch time's short, though. Is it an hour and a half?
Yeah, that was a big part of it. It was like, oh, 90 minutes, okay, in and out, but it felt longer than 90 minutes.
But it's a D minus for sure, Jerry. You're right.
100%, yeah. The other one that I watched today that wasn't bad was this one with Charlie.
This is a pretty standard issue rom-com, though, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. You know, they set everything up, but it was nice to like see Charlie doing this, and he wasn't just playing Charlie. He was just acting. He was just a guy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He doesn't have any screaming scenes. No big scream scenes. Yeah.
And he wasn't like dumb or anything.
Yeah.
It was just like, no, he was just a dude. And then Jason from The Good Place was in it. That was cool.
And is that
Wait a
Clint
minute.
Eastwood's son?
Wait a minute. That's Jason from The Good Place? I did not realize that. And I really enjoyed The Good Place. Dude, that is totally Jason.
Remember at the wedding, he's like, oh, and to Janice. And they're like, no, her name's Jenny. Like, you know, like they did a little Good Place nod.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah, that's him for sure. Wow, that's hilarious, dude.
That's a dope jacket. I like that jacket.
But Nick, I'm sorry I cut you off, Nick. You did say something, and I did want to point that out. I didn't realize that was Clint Eastwood's son. And when I looked that up, what's interesting about that is not only is he in this, what made me realize this, Jared, if you want to click on him, he's also Little Mr. Nobody from the Fast trilogy. He's in two. He's in that one, and he's in Fast X.
Oh, you're right.
He's Little Mr. Nobody.
Who is he in Suicide Squad? I didn't even know he was in Suicide Squad.
Oh, in Suicide Squad, he's a random GI or a soldier.
He, like, walks by or something, yeah.
And it's the bad Suicide Squad.
I like Pacific Rim Uprising, too. I think both those Pacific Rim movies are good.
I never saw the second
Pacific Rim. Ripoffs. It's better than you think it is. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, for a sequel, they didn't poop the bed. You know?
I was underwhelmed by the first one, to be honest. I was a little underwhelmed.
I can dig it. I think, just know that Pacific Rim is American Evangelion. They took Evangelion and took out all the creepy shit. Yeah. Creepy poop. So I'm trying not to swear, folks. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm trying.
All right, Jerry. What would you give this for a rom-com?
I mean, it was solid, and like, even though it was predictable, it wasn't annoying or anything. So like, I don't know, B-.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Again, I like all the actors that were in it, so it was like that's fine. I like seeing all of them.
They just didn't bring anything really new to the table. Is my only criticism of the film.
Yeah, no, they did not.
Like I knew.
Jared, go back like 10 pictures really quick.
I knew it was going to end at the wedding.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Like, yeah,
that
again,
right there.
all
That right
stuff.
there. Go to the one of Jenny Slate. One more. That looks like Charlie and Frank's apartment. Like that looks like an It's Always Sunny apartment.
Yeah, I guess
it looks all dirty, and you know what I mean.
That's funny because that's a store.
Oh, to me that looked like a crappy New York
those are
apartment.
the dressing rooms.
Yeah, it's the dressing rooms.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's why all the doors. Yeah, it's a store.
My bad.
No.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, Jared. I mean, I liked it, and for it being an Amazon Prime original, it's pretty good. Because the bar is low for some of these streamers to make original content, it shouldn't be though. It shouldn't be low. I mean, Amazon has all the money in the world, so the
billions of dollars. Yeah.
But the other thing about it is, if they're not making these for streaming, we wouldn't have rom-coms anymore. It'd just be a dead art. Because they're not going to the theater. There's no real rom-coms. The last rom-com in the theater was that Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the last. That's the last one I could think of. Although Jennifer Lawrence had that movie that came out and didn't do well, and I think it did well review-wise, but didn't do well money-wise, and already left the theater. Where she's like the older lady, and then she is like, I don't want to say a prostitute, but there's this like the weird vibe. She's like hired to hang out with this high schooler.
She's a sex worker.
Yeah. And that just came out.
And that is one of those movies, like unrelated, but just I feel like that is one of those movies that we've been watching that trailer before going to see a movie for like a year, and then it comes out, and you just don't hear anything about it.
And it's gone.
I had no idea that movie was even out yet.
It came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Like literally. That's crazy. I've seen that trailer like literally 20 times.
Yeah, I've been with you when we saw the trailer a bunch of times. And I said, I want to see that, but like, it would have been cool at the drive-in, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd give this other movie. God, I already forgot the name of it. I'd give it a B-. I'd agree with you, Jared. I think that's a good call out.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's not like better than normal average, but like for
the genre.
For like Netflix doing it.
Amazon.
The session, Nick.
What'd you say?
Amazon. The guy just canceled the session.
Oh hell yeah! Nice.
Awesome.
Live updates.
Yeah, so that's like where it gets to be. It's not just like rom-com in general. In general, it's probably like a C. It's like you said, they're not doing anything new. But for Amazon, for like you said, keeping it alive. And again, I knew going in it was gonna be a rom-com, but like I like Charlie Day. I wanted to see him do something.
I love Jenny Slate too. I think that's a cute couple for a rom-com. Those two, I love both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you gotta itching for a rom-com or some just light comedy. Pop that on.
Yeah.
Because again, another 90-minute movie. That was the other thing. I was like, let's get a few, few movies in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy going.
Just speaking of comedies, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this at all, but did you guys see Adam Devine, or is it Adam Levine or Adam Devine's comment about how the MCU killed comedies? Like, do you think that also applies to romantic comedies?
I'm so over listening.
Or let me ask this: what killed romantic comedies? Let me ask that question.
The studios not wanting to make more money, like, and the fans not going to see them. The thing about it, Adam Devine, who's clearly not that smart when it comes to movie making, is if people really cared about it, like, and look, I want to see this movie. Burt Kreischer, he talked a big talk about, he talked a big talk about his movie. That sucker played in the theater for a week, right? And it's like, and they talked all this
2 days
talk
for our specific area.
Exactly. It's like, dude, I wanted to see that, but you didn't even give me time to go see it. And it's like, dude, that's like, look, Kevin plays his movie for a week in the theater and then he tours it. And I make sure to go see it in theater and I try to go see the tour. If you're real diehard, you're gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And to be honest
100%.
too, I think we already reviewed it. That last Adam movie that he did with Netflix wasn't that great, and I would have been bummed if I paid to see that in the theater. What was that called? Well,
I couldn't even tell you.
Thank you, Jer. And it wasn't that great. That movie we just talked about was better than that, by far too. It was more cute.
And again, I do think they were hoping Pierce, like the other big actors that were in it, because it's Netflix, is like, oh, let's get some other names or whatever. And I think they were hoping that would carry it, and it wasn't good. Where, like, again, Amazon was like, well, we have like these 3-4 characters. We got to make sure this stands up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Outlaws wasn't.
No.
That was predictable in a not ugh.
And a not yeah.
In a lazy writing kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, movie of the year is going to be Oppenheimer and Barbie. So blaming superheroes, kind of, you're too late to the party, dude. You missed that. You should have been making that complaint 5-6 years ago, but you probably wanted to get casted in one of those movies. But you didn't, because Michael Pena took the one role you would have had in Ant-Man. That's right. That's like the only role Adam could even have had, because he can't be a superhero. Let's just call it how we see it.
I always love hearing about who auditioned for what in the past, because it's like, I would like to know, like, if Adam was like, yeah, I went out for Ant-Man, I went out for Star-Lord. Like, it's like, I wonder if maybe if what actors have kind of like a bitter thing of like, man, I've been trying to get in this MCU for a decade. Like, I wonder.
Yeah, like that's I agree with Sadu's comments obviously too. It's like you could watch, but I'd still say if the movie is that good, like Cocaine Bear, that movie, from my understanding, that did pretty good numbers for theatrical release. And
especially for what they paid to make it. Yeah.
And because it looked funny. I know Fats was like all about going to see it, so we went and saw it in the theater, or we saw it at the drive-in. Same difference. You know, it's like, dude, I don't know. I feel like people just want to make excuses and blame stuff. It's like, step it up. 50,000 people watch.
I agree.
Made 90 mil.
50,000 people watch a person play slot gambling on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what's in style, Adam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to grab those kids, and if you can't grab those kids, that's your fault, not another movie's fault. And I also think the superhero thing, like, I think it's over. I think, you know, I think we're gonna see less and less of that coming out.
I think the decline has begun. Like like we always bring it back to zombies and like multiverses. Give it another decade, and like a superhero movie will be rare. It'll be like, oh man, we haven't had one of these in them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beginning.
I think Zombies gonna come back. I think the 28 weeks later dudes, they're coming back for another one, the third installment.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then we've got that new Dracula movie. It seems like we haven't had a vampire movie since Twilight, and now all of a sudden it's like,
we just
we've
had
got this the Voyage of the Demeter or whatever.
We just had the Nick Cage one.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, so maybe
Jerry,
vampires are
you
coming
saw
back.
that,
Maybe
right?
they're like, let's start doing more of those.
And that looked pretty good.
I wanted to see it. I love Nick Cage. I still want to see the Unbearable Weight of Talent or whatever that movie's called.
Yeah.
I want to see that one again. I saw that a while ago, and like there's all the memes with it and stuff. That it's like, I should, because I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, you guys need to see that. It was super funny. But
I
yeah,
really
I don't
want to
remember anything specific.
I mean, like, I'm gonna say it one more time because I see Seducity agree with me. What I'm really trying to say too is that that complaint I think had feet to stand on, but like, don't kick superhero movies when they're already falling. You should have said that a few years back, dude. That comment was warranted when Marvel was putting out 4 movies a year. Marvel isn't doing that as much anymore. And I swear on this, I would not be surprised he didn't say it because he was trying out for those roles. And now that those movies are finally dying off, he's like, oh, now I can say something because clearly they're slipping. And everyone, and we all know that. Like, everyone can tell they're slipping. The Flash flopping is a clear indication that it's slipping. That's not the only one, but then I mean,
go down the list. They're all
Invasion War. To do my quick review of Invasion War, I know I said earlier that I thought it was good on the last time we were here. It turned out not to be very good, and it was just all right. And it's one of the worst rated Marvel TV shows. I think it's one of the top percent or bottom percentage of their shit, and it's like I mean, this is a conversation. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll do this on another one. But clearly, you build up something so much that it's hard to keep putting out that grade A that everyone's expecting. And Marvel totally has hit a wall where it's like, Invasion War, we all expected there to be a lot more to it. And it's hard to do that when you have a TV show and a certain budget. And I'm not trying to make excuses. I just kind of I kind of understand what happens. But who cares? That was interesting.
One thing I'll say, and then one thing I'll say, and then we'll move on, because I heard a really interesting way of putting it too. Is that over the last 10 years, Marvel has trained the audience to be disappointed with the movie they're watching, because every movie is about, you're not going to believe what's coming next, and it's like, no, just give me a good movie now. Stop setting up the next thing. Just give me a good movie. And so they've literally trained audiences to not enjoy the thing they're watching.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. That's a really good point.
I would say Star Wars too.
Truth to that.
Star Wars as well.
Yeah. It's always what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did they go?
And so now to completely switch tones, are we going to Possessor? Like,
where did they all go wrong? Different show, Jared. Knock at the Cabin.
I was gonna say you and Addie should do a special segment on Marvel real quick.
I mean,
but yeah, I figured Knock at the Cabin real quick.
I think that would be better on this channel than the Heligrip channel. I think the Heligrip fans would tune out real quick. They don't care.
Then maybe we'll bring Addie back for a quick. He'll give us a rundown of where they went wrong.
Love it.
Yeah.
And a tier list.
I watched this a while ago. You guys watched this within the last week.
I really liked it.
I really liked it too.
I've liked M. Night's last couple. I liked Old. I know
Old was good.
Some people.
Yeah. I liked
Old. I like this. I like that. His TV show he did, The Servant. I'm a little on the fence about.
I'm gonna watch that though, Jerry.
I still want to see it.
Yeah.
I still want to see it.
This made me want to watch it.
I'm less. So that's. I don't remember if we watched this. I feel we watched the other show after, then thought back onto this and was like, oh, okay, fine. This was interesting. This was an interesting movie.
It's based off a book, which is interesting. It's not an M. Night Shyamalan original.
I want to track that down.
And I did read the differences between the movie and the book, which is interesting.
Are there big ones, or is it just little things?
Should I say it? Like, does it matter?
I mean, I don't care. Like if you don't want to spoil it, that's fine. I was just are you? If you were just like, no, it's drastically different. But whatever you want to do, I don't care.
I mean, again,
is Sadu gonna watch it? Yeah, like.
I mean, I would say that this has been out for a minute, and again, it's Shyamalan, so it's already gonna be.
You don't know, Jerry? You don't know what the difference is?
I feel Oh, I do. Yeah.
The little girl
I think I
dies.
Later, Oh, you already told me that.
I think
My
I
bad.
told
already
you,
knew
Nick.
that too.
Yeah. The
My
little.
bad. Yeah.
So when the dude comes in with the gun, and there's like the wrestling and all that over like the weapons or whatever, he doesn't shoot that lady. He actually accidentally shoots the little girl. And then the characters die in a different order.
That's not a choice. Oh, okay. I was gonna say
it's not a choice. It's not a choice. So he still has to kill his partner at the end, or
so
they still.
Tragic.
It's just all. So pretty much at the end of the from what I read online, the end of the book is just like the one dude walks away.
Wow.
Like it ends very more like. Which
remember the fog? It's basically the fog.
Yeah, kind. Yes. The mist. Oh, the mist.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think it's also the lady that he accidentally shoots with the gun. Well, doesn't accidentally shoot with the gun. The lady that he shoots with the gun.
Reactionary, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, she's the one that's in the chair at the end, not Batista's character. So that they switched up the order of how the. What do we want to call them? The cult.
The plagues.
The plagues. The four horsemen.
The four horsemen.
Yeah, the four horsemen.
Yeah.
They changed the order of how the four horsemen die, and then the little girl gets accidentally murdered. Yeah, in the book.
Wow.
I had to look it up because I was just so curious. I was like, what? Because I was I don't think he wrote Old too, Jared. Can we double check that, or I could look that up if he wrote Old. Because what my comment was gonna be is like, man, maybe like Shyamalan should just do adaptations, and he seems to be doing a good job with adaptations.
Yeah.
The last two, although the other thing too, dude, and I really want to see them. I just haven't had an opportunity.
Yeah, it's
based on a book. Yeah, so I haven't seen Split or what was the other one? I haven't seen the other two.
Glass.
Yes, Glass. Yeah.
I haven't seen those. I've obviously I loved Unbreakable. I thought Unbreakable used to be one of his best movies in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen Glass and I haven't seen Split. I want to. I just haven't seen them streaming anywhere.
I like them both. They kind of fuse into one movie because I'm pretty sure I watched Split and then just watched Glass afterwards, like in the same night. So they all kind of blur together.
I mean, I'm a Shyamalan guy. I openly will say it. I think he makes great movies. I think he does a really good job. We've grown up with him. I put him in there with Kev and Tarantino and these American iconic American director writers that have done different stuff in Hollywood and had, cool careers. The one time, that he tried to do like a big motion picture, which would be Airbender or whatever, that's the biggest flop in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that was horrible.
Yeah. I never saw it, but that's what I've heard. Yeah. I've never watched any Airbender like that. I forget even
Neither
what
have
that show
I just watched the movie.
Yeah.
Last Airbender or
yeah, I think that's
Avatar. It's Avatar.
Avatar.
It's Avatar. It's the original Avatar.
Seen any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, I give Knock at the Cabin a B+.
Yeah, same.
Like I enjoyed it. I give it a B+.
Yeah. I thought, and just to say it, I thought Bautista was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I almost think that this is like his best acting role because it's like he's just a person. He's not a alien or a Blade Runner. He's not a Blade Runner. He's an android. But you know what I mean? Like he's just a dude, and it's like they did really good.
Yeah. Yeah, he was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The little girl was really good too, though.
For sure. I thought all of the horsemen were. I thought all, yeah.
And the movie just starts, like they're in the woods and they just come up to the girl like, hey, go tell your parents or whatever, that it was just like, oh, wow. They go right into it. And so, I mean, we've already like spoiled it. So do you think that stuff was happening or or not?
Yeah.
I take it at face value.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I think it was the apocalypse. Yeah.
I thought there was no twists in this movie. Now you're making me rethink it, Jerry. With that comment, I thought it was I thought this was a straightforward. But then again, I read about the book online, so I don't know. Like
the book's perspective is that it happened.
It's a weird religion base. Like it's almost like it is they're supposed to represent the four horsemen.
I'm just catching this now. The four horsemen are a red horse, a black horse, a white horse, and a pale horse. And look at their shirts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like their shirts are straight up like war, death, famine, and pestilence.
Yeah. When I read about it online, it mentioned all that. There is reasons why they did all that. Like,
yeah. Do you guys have any theories on what the weapons mean other than they're horsemen? Okay, yeah. Like I thought the weapons were going to be explained, but
I think they just looked cool for audience.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Yeah.
That like because you kind of like waiting. Oh, Slammin' Samsonite, welcome to the
Slammin' Samson, welcome Slammin' Samson.
Yeah, because the way they focus on it, that you're like, okay, they're gonna explain it, then they don't. That it was just like, okay, that was just visual.
It was just aesthetic.
I guess my take at that point.
Yeah, it was good. I mean,
yeah.
It feels like it's a really fast-paced movie, so there's not much to say about it because it just starts going and like it never like stops, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They keep the tension real good in it.
I'd watch it again.
The big twist that I thought was gonna happen is that the Harry Potter guy was like beat up the gay couple. And that he was coming back for revenge. And that was like, I was like, oh, is this the twist? Like,
yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, it's pretty straightforward. That was just coincidence.
Especially because he's the first to go. Like, it's not even like they let that simmer a little bit. Like, it's like he's done in the first 25 minutes. Like,
But then you don't see, I mean, I don't give a shit. Justin already said he's not going to watch it and whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, but then like the whole like, he doesn't find the driver's license till like what 20, 30 minutes later. So you're like
two horsemen are dead at that point.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh, is this the twist? And it like kind of brings it back, and then it's like, I don't know, like until Jerry's like, oh, did you guys think that it really happened? I took it at face value of like, oh, this was all happening, because then like when they go outside, you could see in the sky that there's a plane falling. So I was like, oh wow, this is like real,
and like the fire tornadoes coming
out
of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There was some reason when Corinne and I finished it that we were like, huh, did that actually happen? I don't know what led us to like question it. But again, it was more of just like, we were still thinking about it after finishing it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like saw it and done. It was just like, wow, this is really, really in my brain right now.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, it wasn't like an effed up movie. Like there's a couple movies we're going to talk about later that like bothered me later. Like Crimes of the Future like bothered me. Where this movie was like, it's not upbeat by any means, but it also was like, it kind of like, because the ending's kind a little upbeat with the one guy and the dog, that you're like, oh, okay, well, and then like we see that future of them being like her being older. You're like, oh, okay, so it worked out for them.
Yeah. And I actually thought the moment with the song, the turning the radio on, turning it off, and then turning, I thought that was like really sweet. Like that actually hit me, that it was like, no, he's there. That's his spirit with his family. And I was like, this is the happiest ending they're gonna get. Like, I really like that.
Yeah. Good movie. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Shyamalan, let's go.
Yeah.
Let me just see real quick what he's got cooking up next.
Let's always go a little peruse here, the Shyamalaner. I do want to see Blue Beetle just so I could tell you that superhero movies suck and they ruined romantic comedies. We got here, Shyamalan. What you working on? It'd be cool if it said he's doing the next, like... All right, let me ask you guys this before we even look. Jerry, let me ask you this before you look. What would you want it to say? Like, if it said Fast and Furious, would you be juiced or upset?
I'd be interested what the twist would be.
Yeah.
Oh, that... no, I guess not. I guess so. Oh, that was so. I guess our takeaway back to the thing real quick. The Shyamalan twist in this one was that there was no twist.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
it was actually happening.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that was actually what
That-
we
yeah.
ended up
When
talking
I
about.
started this movie, I texted Jer and I was like, "Can I figure this movie out?" Like I was like, should I be paying attention to details?" And I forget what Jer's answer was, but it was like cryptic enough to basically where like I was still looking for a twist the whole movie, and then it just never came. And I was like, "Oh, it worked on
Yeah.
me. This movie like worked on me." Yeah.
I would like to see The Seventh Sense.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Well, we don't know. An untitled M. Night movie. Oh, we can't. Bruce Willis doesn't act anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And
I bet Haley Joel Osment.
I could see him saying that he's not going to touch that because of that, though.
Yeah.
Like him and Bruce.
Yeah.
Because he did quite a few movies, or a couple Unbreakable.
He's in all of them. Unbreakable, Split.
Yeah.
Let's try to get
Glass.
some of this money, Nick.
Oh, what? Rolando Davila, we would love to have you on the show and find out how we're related. And, you know, how do you hook us up with like an agent or something? You know what I mean? Like, how do we break into the biz here?
Yeah.
Let's see what he's producing. I feel he produces a lot of stuff.
I'd like to see him.
Move on.
I'd like to see him do a sci-fi film. I don't want to say Star Wars
That'd
because
be cool.
Disney's not going to let him do something crazy.
Dude, give him a Dune book. Like one of the later ones. You know what I mean? Like, give him something weird.
I don't know if he's got the big picture
That
for
kind
a
of
Dune.
scope.
Yeah, for a
Okay,
Dune,
yeah.
Nick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think he's.
I can. Yeah, he's good at tight little. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not
hour and a half.
one room, 5 or 8 people, 7 people. Yeah,
like Crimes of the Future, but Shyamalan style.
yeah.
Not that, Jared. Before I know you
Yeah,
weren't a
yeah.
fan. I'm not saying it's that movie, but I'm saying like
But
something surreal and creepy like that, where it's future based, off planet Shyamalan.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nancy Drew, no, dude. If we're gonna do that, he does Hardy Boys. So, dude, come on now. Hardy Boys were way better than
maybe
Nancy Drew.
Maybe he does the meeting.
He just wrote Hardy Boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch Hardy Boys. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would love to watch Shyamalan direct like a biopic about the Hardy, Jeff and Matt. You know what I mean? Like,
Evil Dead. He could do an Evil Dead.
dude, he would do a great Evil Dead. Give him an Evil Dead because he would actually do something different with it. He would give it a new kind of vibe. I would be into that.
Just the book,
I'd
the
be into that.
Necromonicon or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Have it even take place in Army of Darkness. So that way it's completely different from the others. It's like, give us another back in the day tale.
Yeah.
So that way it's kind of like The Village. Basically just mix The Village with Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It kind of writes itself.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
yeah.
like.
I'm glad BK isn't here. He'd probably be getting upset with us right now.
Maybe he's just like saving it up.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna. I think he's busy right now. He's gonna pop in any minute now and then have something to. Scooby Doo. I don't think so. Sadu, only because of how bad Avatar: Last Airbender was. You got to keep prefacing it with Last Airbender so no one gets confused here. Even just saying Evil Dead. I meant Evil Dead, the new current Evil Dead, without having the Ash storyline.
Yeah.
He can't be controlled. You can't control Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I think
He's gonna be subversive no matter what he does. Like, yeah.
Kevin Smith's the same way, right? Like Cop Out sucked. It's the worst movie he made because they try to control him. And whenever you try to control, I think a Shyamalan, that's why Tarantino is smart. He's never done a movie where they controlled him. He's just done
exactly.
Tarantino, you know?
Yeah.
And I think same goes for Shyamalan and same goes for Kev, where like they're good at doing their movies.
Yeah.
But
And again, nothing to do with anything. I really like that Hulk movie, but the fact that Ed Norton had control and not the director, that's why no one talks about that movie. It's like because it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. It's like who's in charge, Norton or the director or Feige? You know what I mean? It's like at one point it needs to be one person in charge. You know, like
too close to the actual Marvel, the MCU for anyone to care about it.
Yeah.
If he would have continued instead of Ruffalo, we might talk about it, Nick. It might be higher up on the totem pole, but because he falls out, no one cares.
It's done. Yeah, people have forgotten.
Adam Devine wanted
talks
to be
about it.
Blade.
Yeah.
That's a good comment to do. That's comment of the night right there, my friend.
Hell
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Hell yeah.
He
You
did.
just won yourself a free grip tapes.
Yeah.
Sheet.
Yeah. Come by the warehouse to pick up your sheet of grip tape. All right, Jerry. What's our next topic?
So do we want to end on Barbie or nah? Should we go to Barbie now and then finish with the duo Cronenbergs?
Oh, we're already on that. What?
Yeah.
Why don't we do? Why don't we like? Did all three of us finish Always Sunny?
I did.
Yeah.
Click on Always Sunny. Let's just knock out Always Sunny and give it a quick review. Because I got a couple things to say about it, and then we'll do video of the week. Then we'll do the effed up movies, and we'll end the whole thing with Barbie, so it's an upbeat story.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I mean, real quick, I'll start it off with Always Sunny. This season flew by. I think it was 9 episodes, 8 episodes. Very short.
Yeah.
Very short season. I'm not asking for 24, but at least give me 12. At least give me 12.
Yeah, exactly. 10 at minimum.
Yeah.
But 12.
Do you think this had to do with Charlie's movie that you guys watched?
Well,
was the season cut short because they're all doing movies now?
Yeah, because like, what's his name? Dennis also did the Blackberry movie, which Addy told me was really good. Addy said that Blackberry movie was pretty good. He didn't say really good. He said pretty good. He enjoyed it. I don't know, Nick. That's a great question.
Something though, especially with that last episode, with how heavy it is on Dennis, and there's like maybe 10-second scene where we see the other 3 together. To where I thought they were gonna do like they did a couple seasons ago, where they did like the Eagles at the Super Bowl, and they showed like the gang's perspective. Then the next week they showed Charlie's. I thought they were gonna do that, and then Fats was like, "Yeah, no, the season's over.
It's just done."
YouTube. Someone did. It was.
I think I said that.
I thought there was gonna be like at least 2 more episodes.
I couldn't believe when I saw it on social media that it was said season finale is now streaming. I was like, whoa, that's mind blowing.
And then when you guys said that, I was sure it was going to be like at least an hour, and it's like, no, 22 minutes, and you're like, oh, all right, like just a quick one.
Good season, but I didn't like the fact they ended it on a Dennis episode. I feel like
I think that would have been
season,
a great first episode.
Yes,
like, you know what I mean? Like and end on just whatever episode 9 was. You know?
Yeah,
or whatever
8.
Yeah. 8.
Yeah. I don't know. I give it a C+ because we've had so many seasons. You know, is this the 13th or what is this, Jerry?
15th. I thought
it's the 15th. Out of 15 seasons, this is probably, I don't want to say, it's not the worst necessarily. I don't even know. I don't even know if there is a worse season. No, this isn't. This is 18.
No, I think because remember they have some.
To 18.
A couple years ago they had some crazy contracts.
Okay, yeah. So we just saw 16. We just saw 16.
Yeah. Okay. So Frank vs. Russia, that was a good one. Celebrity Booze, The Ultimate Crowd, that was a good one.
So
I thought the amusement park one could have been funnier. I loved the idea, but it didn't hit the way I was hoping it would. Sorry, Jerry, I felt like I cut you off.
Like especially compared to like last season. I did not like last season, so I think for me, I would immediately bump this up to a B-, just because even though it may not be the best of episodes or it's a short season, they're at least a little closer to like what they were doing before. Like they're a lot wackier now. And again, I do think just having the one season that was so, it was all pretty much one storyline all the way through. It was so weird.
It was 8 last season too. Wow. So maybe I'm judging too hard on that. Okay, so it's 10 2 seasons ago?
No, yeah, they like just dropped it down.
But if you go to season 6, they were doing like 20 something, right?
No.
13. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 13.
That's why I said 12, right? Yeah. Yeah. I always thought it was 12, but 13, that makes sense.
Yeah. 12, 13 episodes. Yeah, exactly. Which again, I feel makes sense because during those times, I feel they played like the first 2 episodes together, so then it was still only like a 10-week run or whatever.
So go to 7 really quick and scroll down, just because like these episodes are all some of the best. I just want to see Storm of the Century, amazing. Charlie McDennis, amazing. This might be my favorite season. Is this 7? Yeah. How Mac Got Fat, Thunder Gun Express.
Thunder Gun Express.
I think 7 is S tier for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
We
mean,
should definitely do a Always Sunny tier list.
dude,
Yeah, season tier
that's
list, we should do
so.
that.
Oh, season tier list. I'd have to like start rewatching them. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, or it does help just kind of going off the name of like, sure, I may not remember it completely, but it is like, oh my god, when they go to the therapist here,
Yeah,
that one
I
was,
love
like,
that's one of my
and
favorite
the
episodes.
Garbage.
But I think 2 or 3 is gonna be my favorite, just because of how
Gang dines out.
like 2 and 3 like. We used to rewatch one not so much because that's without Frank, and Frank really added something to the show.
He really
He really did.
wild. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know 2 and 3 because I'm sure Sadu. I know he's here in the chat, and Jerry, you know, we used to rewatch these when we worked at downtown Walnut Creek all the time, dude.
And like we love this episode when like
That's
Dennis
one of the
is
best
running in
episodes.
the internal monologue and stuff.
Yeah.
So, symmetry of a gazelle.
So it might be either 2 or 3 for me would be the top, just because of what it means to me from like growing up with it and just nostalgia. But I do agree with you, Nick. That season that you mentioned, that's a strong season. There's a lot of strong seasons. The Christmas special with the robot and they're throwing the rocks at the train, and I watch that. I watch that every Christmas. I have the DVD. I bust out the DVD and I watch the Christmas special every Christmas. That and Harold and Kumar are my go-tos. So it's not a Christmas if I don't watch that. So, you know.
Yeah. That's such a funny episode. Man, when that came out and we had that DVD.
They go back to give the toy, and he's like hella old.
Yeah.
Your dad stole this from me? It's so good. Man.
So does that mean like where are we in the
Yes.
next Mythic Quest then? If this just ended, is Mythic Quest in like a month?
When Dennis took the cat, and he what does he call the cat?
Oh, Jack Bauer, Agent Jack Bauer.
Agent Jack Bauer. So, dude, you're right. That's one of the best sets.
Dude, and that's you busted. That like the my favorite "It's Always Sunny" quote is from that episode. You busted.
What season is that? The Jack Bauer one.
Bums making a mess all over the city. Is that 4 or 5? Bums
it
making
might be
and
3 actually.
Dayman. I mean that was so iconic. That's what really took them to the next level.
Right, 3. Good call, Jer.
Season 3.
Yes.
Dude, that's another great one.
Yeah. Season 3 might be the strongest.
Their ass off. Season 3 is amazing.
But the Dayman song is really what took them. Like I'm not a huge fan. The song's catchy, but that song and that whole thing is really what projected them into that next level of fame. The reason they've 100%. Done 18 seasons is I would say, Nightman. What season is that, Jerry? 4? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So season 4 is what really projected them to really being able to do 18, in my opinion.
Yeah. The gang solves the gas crisis. Oh my god, I love.
Yeah, they got the tanks in the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. So
good. Yeah. All right.
Wild card, baby.
We should do a whole episode on this, Jerry. Right?
We should.
We'll do a tier list. Yeah. We'll remember that. We'll remember that.
Over the show.
But yeah, overall, still enjoying it. I like that they're still going.
Yeah. I'm always gonna watch.
I'm always gonna watch.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm always gonna watch. Jerry, Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Out of all the shows that are currently still on, It's Always Sunny is my favorite show.
100%.
Like, of the shows that, it's my favorite show that is currently in production. Yeah.
I've dropped in and picked back up with South Park over the years quite a few times. And there's a lot of other shows that I'll watch and then stop watching and maybe come back
take a break and Family Guy, I do that
every year though. When Always Sunny airs, I watch it. That's like the one show
day one.
I will open like I'm like, oh, I have to watch this. I'm not gonna miss Always Sunny, you know. So like I said,
Cricket, we would love to have you on the show.
What did I give this season? I said C plus or something like that. I feel like that's low. That's low. I feel bad about that, but whatever. It is what it is.
But I think what you're grading is that you're like, I wanted more. What you're not even saying it's bad. You're saying I was unsatisfied with the amount, which I think is a fair criticism. I think
the last episode left a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, really? Nobody else?
You're not taking cheap shots or anything. Yeah.
They have some great jokes in the show.
Yeah. And then lastly, Joe, can you just look up what is the Mythic Quest release date? I just want to know. Like, so now that this is over, when do we?
I don't know if they shot it even, Nick D. You might be bummed by this.
Oh man, dude. So it's like next year at the earliest.
They just finished filming in like April.
Okay.
So so probably either this winter, like the early winter, like the end of this year, or like February.
I think it's. I'm not to be a downer, Debbie, but like I think it's going to come down to the actor strike because these shows want the actors to go and like promote, and the fact that they can't promote, I think. Yeah, but see, it says it's setting December or no. Go up, Jerry. Go up. Let's see what the first episode is.
Oh wait, no. This is actually wrong. That's season 3.
Oh wow, okay.
So there's nothing on.
There's not even a
It might be
that shows
early next year.
Out. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say 2. Early next year, maybe.
Okay.
Because if Jerry's saying they finished in April, you would think it would be Christmas this year. But because of the writing strike,
like that's normal. Yeah.
Okay, here we go, folks. We're looking it up. Here we go. Get out of here, YouTube, with your giant advertisement.
I know.
2024. Ooh.
Where's the thing? I don't know. I'll look elsewhere to see.
Yeah. I don't think there's an answer. I think it is just kind of a.
Dude, the writing / acting strike's really throwing us off from getting this kind of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's holding us back.
There's a
spin-off talking about it. Yeah.
I don't need to do a spin-off. Get out of here.
Unless it's Cricket's character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a spin-off of anyone. Or he's dead.
So,
but what's the writer's
the series
name?
will focus on the lives of the players and fans of the game.
Whack.
If
Mac and them isn't in it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't care about the
game. I don't care about the game.
Danny Pudi. Yeah, if it were Danny Pudi, his character spin-off, be super into that.
With that girl? What's the girl's name?
And Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I'd watch it, but I still wouldn't be like. I don't think it would be as good as the original. Yeah. Obviously, that's a great show, though. I do really like Mythic Quest. So.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to do video of the week next? This is where we need the song to kick in.
Sure.
Video of the week. You know.
Bam, 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 bam.
We should take
explosions.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
This is my video.
All right, let me get the poll started.
I don't think we need sound, but
do we think this is AI?
No, this is
old though, because I heard he can't. I
don't think this is recent at all. I think he was somewhere, and they were like, "Hey, do this real quick." And
I heard that he's
so lucky that guy's like, I'm not going to destroy you right now.
I heard he can't really walk or anything. Like, he does movies in Russia because, he moved to Russia. He's a piece of crap. But he does movies over there, but he sits the whole time.
I've heard that too. I think he can't stand for too long.
Yeah, he does his whole role from a chair.
Yeah. You know what's really crazy, and I feel like I'm not saying anything new here, but it is crazy that he was actually like a gold medalist. Like he actually was like a legit champion and like at the front of the sport, and then just slowly it's almost like he just became a fraud. It's like, dude, you used to be a martial artist. Why are you pretending with this other bullshit? Like it's just weird how the journey he's been on. Like, he's an interesting dude.
Probably, studied one specific type and then
Aikido.
Started doing movies, and then they were like, "Hey, can you like fake can you do these moves?" And then it just stumbled. Because again, it's like, I know he plays guitar, but like he owns Stevie Ray's guitar and like Hendrix, and it's like, why do you own all these guitars? Like,
exactly.
So exactly. I think he's just kind of caught up in that fame life.
We don't need sound for this, Jerry. You can just watch this. This just caught my attention. This one, the double foot off the pole, I thought was so cool.
Wow, look at that,
dude! This dog.
This guy's dope.
I just
Do
randomly.
we know his name?
No, I don't. I don't know if it says it. Does it? This just randomly popped up. Look at that.
Ninja. The dog's Ninja.
I love it. Dog parkour.
Dude, when he walks on that like thin pole, dude, the double feet on the wall, dude. He puts both.
Yeah. And he's taking multiple steps.
This one where he goes
like
over the
better than a
things
person
with a
doing
bag
it.
of chips
he's
in his
got the
mouth.
combos. I love
Underneath
it.
the bike, catches the
What?
frisbee, double feet on the wall. So cool, man. It's like dog skateboarding, bro. It's so
Yeah,
double wall ride, bro. Double wall ride. It's
I love it.
so
Guy's awesome.
cool, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, look at the
that's tight.
balance.
I would be so
That's
pumped if
tight.
this was my dog, dude. I'd be
Yeah.
so pumped.
Yeah.
Although
that's super dope.
Hunter was good at the tightrope across the back of the couch. Hunter was really good at that.
And I think she accidentally did a double foot wall ride one time,
yeah.
but like not like that. She was doing it.
Consistent, yeah.
She was doing it out of anger.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody
Where's my
at
dinner?
well, there's somebody at the door,
Yeah.
and then she'd like run and like. But this dog's doing it out of friendliness.
Yeah, out of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. It's different. You're right though, Nick, because she's about the same size as Hunter for sure.
Yeah.
Or he or she is about the same size as Hunter.
Yeah.
It does kind of remind me of a Hunter vibe, though. You're right.
100%.
I just wish that, dude, if Hunter was like that, man, we would have been getting into some
Would have been
mischief.
making that YouTube money.
Yeah, bro. All
So
right.
this is wild.
Start.
I really have to see this cartoon now because I'm just like, wow, the ABC RoboCop is very different than the cartoon. It's a lot more family friendly. You're done, bud. You're done.
Oh my god! And like, there's no struggling. He's just
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
take you
Yeah, dude.
down.
I mean, imagine like a robot arm just being like, nope. Like you're, and he grabs him by like the hair.
He's like, he's kind of
and
like
look,
a
he's like
forehead.
grimacing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like RoboCop is pissed about this guy. You know.
and
I just thought that was
he
so hardcore.
shoots dicks off and will drown you in your pool.
Yeah.
And
He looks
then you
evil.
had-
He
He
looks
does.
evil.
He looks like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said. I want to see that episode because it's also like the like black highlights here and stuff, and he's not like silver. This is more of a gray,
Yeah.
and he has that like red line here where I feel
Yeah.
very normal RoboCop. So it's like, yeah, I wonder if
Yeah. I'm sure in the
So,
in
yeah,
the
we'll
episode he
have to-
lets him up and he's just scaring him or something. But it is like just that little clip is like, oh, that's kind of shocking for a cartoon.
yeah.
It's Dick Jones, baby. Dick Jones.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is not my video of the week just because my video of the week is so like a GIF. I saw this picture the other day, and like I said earlier, it's like a renaissance. Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack. I just think that's a beautiful photograph of two legends.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a explosive barbed wire match. You can just barely make out the barbed wire ropes. They blend in with the sparks.
Maybe the greatest wrestler of all time, right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make that like my phone background. Like, God, I love that picture.
All right, so we got it. I put.
But just vote for the video. Don't weigh the Cactus Jack.
I
thing
did
with
Steven
my video.
Seagal MMA, Doggo Ninja, and Monday Coming RoboCop.
Hell yeah.
So everybody get in there and get your votes, which seems to be. Wait.
I feel like this week is good for videos of the week. All of these are contenders.
I can see who's. Oh, dude, the participation. It's just Sadu. Sadu, make sure you vote. It's Sadu, Jerry, and some reason it counts the OverShow as a person, even though the page I have open is the like studio page. I can't vote, so I don't know why it has me, which is
Yeah.
bizarre. All right, so let's move on. We'll keep that voting going. If somebody else pops in, we'll.
Yeah.
But let's get let's do Barbie last, so we end on an up note. Just
Okay.
just
So let's
because the other two movies are so effed up,
Yeah.
so effed up. So Jerry, you pick
Yeah,
out one of the
they
two
are
of those.
quite-
And then once we're done, let's the three of us vote what was more fucked up, what was more effed up.
I'm gonna try to
That's
sell
sort of
you
what we-
on. I'm gonna try to sell you guys on Crime of the Future is more fucked up, but is the better movie. I'm here to.
I can't wait.
I'm
I
here
can't wait,
to sell you two on that. That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
I love it.
Yeah. So at some point, well, that'll be part of my thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I want to hear Jared go first here on these. This is gonna be a great episode because we all three of us watched both these movies, and they're effed up. There are some effed up movies.
These are the most crazy movies I've seen in a minute. When I was watching Possessor, I was like, oh, this is like Antichrist. You know what I mean? Or in like Dogtooth level. I was like, this movie is disturbing.
I got Addie to watch this.
Nice.
But
let's.
I can tell you what Addie thought, but we'll get into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was interesting. This was by Brandon Cronenberg, David's son. This was his second movie.
I thought this was his first full length, and the other one was a short.
Viral.
Oh, that's a full length.
Yeah, I think that was a short, then full length, and then like this is no short going into it. So it's like we had talked a little bit before that it's like it's a little clunky of a movie, but like I like the idea of it, and I like her character and kind of what's going on behind the scenes of it all. And just like again, you watch it all, and then you kind of like come back to the end of like, whoa, like it hits a lot different once you've seen it and then think back on everything.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that comment, Jerry.
Yeah.
And her haven't seen.
She's great.
What is it? Jessica.
Jessica Jason Leigh. I always get her and Rachel Lee Cook's names mixed up. Not their actress, just the name.
And so like with this, which will go into the other one, I felt this like body horror and like the graphic stuff of it like worked and wasn't just kind of put in there of just being like, oh, let's just make it super visually disturbing. It was kind of like, again, when you finish it, it makes sense on why some parts were so violent with it.
Wow, they showed that.
They
staged that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Jared,
Spoiler, IMDb.
The mask was cool.
I have to say though, Jared, that's the one thing I'd argue with you against Crimes of the Future is I think that this movie, it didn't need the overgraphic sex scene in particular.
Yeah.
I think that to me was shock value for the sake of shock value, and I didn't necessarily need it in here. I would agree with you that the mental state of, I don't know, do we want to say him or her? Because she's inside his head. They're both mentally breaking down.
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna have to do some spoilers. Like this movie,
F it. Spoil away.
It's not gonna like ruin anything. Where it's like he's going crazy because he's all of a sudden aware that somebody else is inside his brain, and she's going crazy because she's been an assassin living everybody else's life for like
a decade, maybe. It seems like she's been.
We don't know how long.
It, but like in the beginning of the movie, we see her practicing her normal self of like talking to her husband. So it's like they're both going crazy for different reasons. And again, she's like she gets super violent because she's an assassin and doing all this stuff. So that's why it's like, I felt like the violence made sense because it's like, she's really losing it, and we're like seeing that happen.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was cool. Where again, it's like you said, even though it was only a few scenes, in what's it called, Crimes of the Future, those were just weird. I thought those were just weird. Since we talk about both movies, figured just pull them both up.
You can. Why not? But dude, but it's really weird. It's like it's far out there. Like the thing,
the fucking zipper. Like I almost think the zipper was like one of the weirder things. Like there's a lot of weird.
Yeah.
This
is like the thing about God, I'm always forgetting the name. What's the son's movie? Possessor. Possessor feels like it, and I'll just start my argument here. My main thing is that Possessor feels like it's like other stuff we've seen. It's kind of grounded. It is arguably the better film, but like I've seen that movie. He's just doing some weird stuff, and he doesn't take it. he doesn't take it too far from I did a little research online. It takes place in 2008. Weird year to pick.
Yeah.
Weird year to pick.
Yeah.
And it's like a different universe. Like it's like a parallel universe to where we are now currently. It's a different 2008 than what we lived in. But like even reading that, I'm like, you could have explained more. Like I want to, and maybe it's like John Wick, where if we got a sequel to this, we'd find out more about the company and how it all works. I wanted to know more about the company and how it all worked in Possessor. And I know that
like the technology and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what the movie was about, but I was curious. And maybe that also means it was good because I was very curious in that. But the thing about Crimes of the Future is it's so effed up. It's so weird. And he's just going for something. And I was
both
taking
of them are Vigo and Cronenberg. Like Vigo's so weird. Vigo's so weird.
I feel they wanted what's his face, the Skarsgård dad, and he was just doing his impersonation of him. Of,
wow,
and,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I could.
But Vigo's good friends with what's his name, right? Because they've done a bunch of movies together, so I imagine it had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
was he
really
Andor?
interesting.
What Star Wars was he? He was like the bounty hunter in Andor. It just reminded me of him, Lucian in Andor. Either way,
exactly.
Definitely, I will agree with you guys on that. He went for a vibe in Crimes of the Future and nailed it. Just not my vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. Yeah.
And the storyline's creepy as hell.
It's just, it was so strange. And again, I think my other thing was like, this would have worked a lot better if it were in the 90s, early 2000s. But like for it to be 2023 and like it was just so weird. She didn't do a great job.
She's not in it much.
About like why he's always crouching and stuff. He was in the horse accident, couldn't stand for
in real life. In real life.
In real life. So he's always just on the ground.
Yeah,
and I started noticing that before I looked it up, and was just like,
I looked it up. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like you said, there was just a lot. Like the chair was so weird.
I had to look that up too. I had to look it up what the chair does.
Is there an answer?
Yeah, the chair. Okay, so because we're really gonna jump. We haven't even explained at all what that movie's about, but because all right, I'll just jump right into it. Because they're making new organs inside themselves in the future, which sounds so weird when you say it. We've evolved, and they're making new organs and shit. They don't say what year it is, but it's clearly very futuristic, and it's also like there's been a nuclear war or something, from my understanding.
There's got to have been something because there's weird like rubble. Like when you hit in the copper hanging, you're like, that building is clearly bombed.
Yeah. The chair, Nick, helps you digest. And that's why it's moving and doing all this.
That's why it's called a breakfast chair. Okay.
All this thing. So you're eating.
It looks like teeth. You're
eating this weird food, and then to help you make your organ or whatever and get the most out of the food, it moves your body. It's the same thing with the bed. The bed also you connect to.
It's like rock,
and it like does something to you while you're sleeping. I will say I did have to read because I was like, what is going on? So I had to like
any of it.
Google it up to like understand that chair. Because I was like, what is the bed? I kind of understood. I was like, oh, the bed's helping him sleep.
The chair was super weird. The chair, because he's like wiggling in it, and like trying to eat.
Yeah,
it's just like
not exactly unpleasant. You know what I mean? You're just like, what is this conversation? Like, what are they talking about? Like,
I loved the vibe, dude. I didn't like it. It's very graphic. And Jared, like, I think you said this, the weird like organ blowjob is what I'm gonna call that. Was super,
with the zipper. Yeah.
That was super creepy. Super creepy.
I was, like I said, I think that's the weirdest part of the movie. Like, it was like, what the fuck is happening? What the fudge is happening, you know?
But, man, like, they were going for something. I can't compare it to any other movie. That's the thing about Crimes of the Future. I'm like, man, I don't know what that's like. There's, like, nothing like that. The premise of...
That's fair.
You're in the future, and people are so advanced that their bodies are growing new organs, and it's a new style of art show that you show off these organs. There's no pain, and there's no infection. That's the other thing. There's no infection.
Yeah.
So the reason they're able to do these crazy street surgeries is because you don't have to worry about infection. And then there's this creepy guy who's eating this weird toxic candy bar. Because
it's like food made of plastic.
Yeah. That only certain people who already have this new organ. It's just such an interesting idea. That like, would I say it's a good movie? No, I wouldn't I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend this. I wouldn't be like, Sadu, you gotta watch Crimes of the Future. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I would probably recommend the other one over it. But I just thought that Crimes of the Future, he was really doing something with that. Like, that is some weird shit. Like, very. Yeah, I don't know. I just Possessor, I just felt like maybe it's because it was coming out at the same time as Invasion War or Secret Invasion, which also had this like assassins wearing other people's skin. Clearly that's a very Disney version of what that is. That is some evil stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
But the hard penis. Let's get right down to it. Possessor has a hard penis.
Yeah.
And the reason
I can't remember the last movie I saw.
You're not allowed to in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like that. That really was like shocking for me, and it's on Hulu. Like, I'm like, damn, Hulu. Like,
which is Disney.
During the mind meld.
During the mind melt, during the sex scene, he has a hard. They pan down. They show his hard penis.
It's essentially a metaphor for when the guy's getting the chip implanted in his head. It's like them fusing. So it's that creepy sex scene.
He also has boobs because it's supposed to be her. So it's this weird, like, is it her or is it him? So it's that scene, Jared, where like at first it shows his penis and then it pans out and he has her boobs. It's this weird, it's during that like flashy scene.
Yeah, that was just visually like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah. It was like, I don't know. I don't want to say unnecessary, but I felt like he was pushing the edge because he knows you can't do that in the United States. So he kind of throws in this like scene that felt like, I mean, and hey, look, I don't have a problem with, showing a little dong, I mean, Babylon shows a bunch of dong in it. Not hard.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some dong in Babylon. Not hard. But they show dong. There's a lot of sex in Babylon, dude. Not Margot Robbie.
It's a Netflix movie? I didn't
No,
think
Babylon
Netflix
was
would do that.
No, Babylon was in. He's like a Warner Brother or something.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you guys said it was Netflix. I was like,
No,
Netflix is showing dong, but okay.
No.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you watch it on Netflix? Is that why I'm thinking that?
No, I watched it on.
I'm just wrong.
I think I watched it on Amazon Prime as well.
I think I'm just wrong then. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's
I think Babylon was like a big motion picture, like one of the big studios.
Okay.
We talk about because Babylon, at the end they actually flash a bunch of scenes from other movies because the whole movie's about Hollywood.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't the dong that threw me off. It's the fact that he had to have it be hard, which I know it was during a sex scene, but then it was like that sex scene also went on for a little bit. It's like loosely felt like some softcore porn in the middle of a killer movie.
But like horror porn.
Yeah,
It was like very like it was like it was like unsettling. It was never meant to be erotic. It seemed like it meant like it's like, oh, like I'm messing with you. Look how weird this is.
Look how ooh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think if I watched that movie, the other thing I think I mentioned this to you, Nick, is that I just watched. Oh my God! If Schwarzenegger did the first one. And then
Twins. Total Recall.
Total Recall, which also he puts I know it's different, but he puts the necklace on to change into a different body.
Yeah.
And it like
so. And then we saw Mission Impossible. It seems like this summer there's been a lot of that kind of like you said, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion, and all three of those are different. Although Secret Invasion, Jerry, is very similar to where the person's in a pod. And then the what are those people called?
The Skrulls.
The Skrull is then able to take over. It's very similar to this in a way. Obviously not as dark and twisted. But that kind of took a little bit away from it for me. Versus like Crimes of the Future. Dude, I thought you liked it, Jer. So I watched it in the idea like, Jer recommended this. So I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, no.
So let me ask you guys, because
actively did not like watching that.
I don't think I didn't look up anything. I don't think I fully understand what's going on. So the guy's kid he was a natural mutant. Basically, this is just the fucked up version of X-Men. Let's just be real. Like, these are mutants. And so he can digest plastic. And so my first question is, Viggo Mortensen a cop? Like,
No.
was he undercover? No.
No.
Okay, but he's a narc then.
He's a narc.
He's snitching. Okay.
Yes.
And then so my second question is, the whole twist at the end is that Twilight, what's her name, Kristen Stewart, removes the organs from the kid and puts in fake organs so that it ruins their show, right? But then Viggo Mortensen eats the plastic candy bar. Did he naturally? Did he naturally grow the stomach you need for plastic, or did he put the kid's stomach in his body?
No. So yeah, I guess it just depends on your take.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because he had the zipper, so I was like, oh, he's like, I'm just gonna take that shit. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So because again, the kid's dad, the rebel dude or whatever, his whole thing was like, oh, like maybe the organs you remove from yourself you shouldn't be in, like this is the natural process we should be doing. And so my understanding was he was growing stuff, and it happened to be because they're in such a synthetic world full of plastics that the body was like, well, this is the most abundant thing, so we need to start processing it. And so
it's natural evolution.
It was the government telling, like, controlling your body, telling everybody like, oh, these organs are bad, you don't want them, because they wanted to keep everything the way it was, not letting everybody like, hey, we're about to be able to start eating plastic and everything's going to change. That was my take.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense, because you know what's interesting about that is that on paper, you're like, why isn't that a good thing? We have so much plastic pollution. Like, you think, like, I don't want a new stomach, but I would be juiced if it's like, oh, there's an animal or people that can eat plastic. It's like, dude, we need that. So it's like, I thought it was so weird that the cops were so against it, but that makes sense, Jared, that it's like it's like a
the
fascist.
Government was like,
that's why they're making you tattoo numbers or whatever on it, because they want to keep track on all the organs.
That makes sense to me. I didn't put any of that together. Like, I was like, I don't understand what's happening. I was like I said, I thought he was a cop the whole time.
The cop dude was maybe the worst actor in the movie, in my opinion, Jer. He didn't do a great job, and I think it's because they gave him such a thick accent and stuff that he just wasn't the best at, because like Nick's saying, he's an important character to the overall story arc. Yeah, there it is. And because he has such a thick accent, and those scenes are like really dark, and they're on that beach because they're trying to be like hiding out because he's narking.
Yeah,
and they're like whispering.
Yeah,
it really is
just
like and what's happening.
Yeah, that scene's like the worst scene where they're down at the beach at night.
Yeah. Because the cop keeps talking in like weird kind of metaphor thing, and Viggo's just answering normally.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, I don't even know what this conversation's about, let alone understand. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah.
I will say, is it Leah or Leia Sadu? I think she's the best part of it. She's like, she was so creepy as the surgeon turned performance artist turned to, I want to start cutting myself up. Like, I just thought her character was creepy. Like, yeah, she was great. She was great.
Viggo is my favorite.
Viggo was great. Yeah, Viggo was great. Yeah.
When he says, I don't remember how to have normal sex or whatever is my favorite scene.
Yeah. I hated it all. Every second of that goddamn movie.
It was so
the one thing I did read is that Viggo wanted to be the organ collector guy. He wanted that role, and Cronenberg begged him to be the lead.
Yeah.
That's the scene. That's the scene. Jericho back couple. That scene there is the one that that explains a lot of information, but it's whisper talk and that dude's thick accent, and it's like hard to follow what they're even saying. You almost need subtitles on just to be like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, like Viggo's like talking all weird, and
he's all hunched over.
Yeah. He's dressed like
I feel
Ronin
there's
from Endgame. He's got the thing and the hood, and he looks like a ninja. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Weird
Yeah,
movie.
dude. Yeah, bro.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's a vibe. If you want a vibe, if you're looking for like a
Yeah.
weird, like bad futuristic dystopian vibe, I guess.
It's like
Yeah.
Utopian.
it's like a sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate sci-fi horror. Like it's super sci-fi, like super sci-fi. Like look at the chair and like
Yeah.
it's so weird sci-fi, but it's like a
'Cause
horror
it's like-
movie.
Because it's biomechanical science. Like nothing. It's not like like when in Possessor, it looks very cyberpunk. It's got the helmet with the wires, and you're on the bed. This stuff looks like it was like grown. It looks like xenomorph, like Geiger.
Yeah.
Like it's like it. It looks alien. It looks not foreign, but like outer space foreign.
And so the thing I will also give David is all the props are practical. They're real. The physical prop, except for when they bring the knives, that is some of the worst CGI I have ever seen for a movie put out in 2020.
with the arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
guys, like you really didn't take the extra.
And it's like you don't
leap
need
and
to do that. Do puppets. Like like what? Why?
The Possessor's all practical effects too, though, Jerry. That's all practical as well. They're both pretty much all practical effects. Father and son, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jared, 100%. The thing I would say though, Nick, is Possessor. I wouldn't consider cyberpunk. I think it's more steampunk because it's analog. It's cyberpunk is more like it would be like iPhone digital screens and stuff. Where Possessor is like when
green text on black screen,
and it's like it's handles and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like when she first lays down and that doctor, and this is one of the things I want to point out to you guys in Possessor. Not point out, it's more of a question to the two of you. What was the deal with that doctor dude? Kind of giving her hella attitude when she first gets put into the bed. It's early on in the movie. And he says some like it's almost like he knows that she's losing her mind. And he's kind of being a dick. That's the sex scene where you see the hard penis. And that's right before they show the analog knobs. And I really noticed the analog knobs because it's like, oh, this looks like Star Wars, like original Star Wars. With it's all like turn knobs and stuff.
I think you pegged it. Well, I think because he's the technician, whatever he's looking at, like whatever tubes and dials and everything, I think he sees like, oh, you're losing your goddamn. Like I think he's like the front, like even like Jennifer Jason Leigh. I know. So I've got a question. Do we think she wanted to leave her family, or did Jennifer Jason Leigh put that thought in her head and manipulate it? So it's like the doctor seems to be like, you're losing your mind, but then Jennifer Jason Leigh's like, I'm trying to do that to her. Like I'm turning her into the perfect weapon. Yeah. And it's like I don't know what to think because both of those characters are going in different directions, the doctor and the operator. Or the person running the show. I don't know what you call Jennifer Jason.
Or again, it's like her handler.
Handler, that's what I was trying to say.
Or it's just all part of the elaborate scheme of like, hey, I'm the doctor and you're losing your mind. And then you have her handler being like, is it such a bad thing that you're losing your mind? Like I do, it's probably all together. It's like
they're trying to break her brain.
Exactly. Like it's watching it to where it's like, I don't think I would watch it a second time, but it is just like, oh, I wonder how it would hit a second time having seen it and then trying to like, either I forced these like, oh, I picked up on this. And it's like whether or not that was there. It's like, oh, I do wonder how that, because it was the same. So of these movies, the one you haven't seen, Tubes, if you're up to some more Cronenberg shenanigans, you should check out Infinity Pool.
I know, I want to.
Infinity Pool was my favorite.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch it by next week. I plan on watching it.
Like I feel he figured out a few things of his making movies and like, okay, let's answer questions a little better or like not have such holes or this or that.
And it's got a Skarsgård. Speaking of Skarsgårds,
they finally got that Skarsgård.
The suits look so cool right there, though. The mask and stuff.
I loved all of the tech in both of them. I feel like they both had cool visual language. Yeah.
I do agree with you too, because like I feel a lot of the times where it's like, oh, do another thing or spin off and like have it be the company and what they're all about. Most of the time I'm like, I don't know about that. But this one I think would be super interesting. And especially like just the world of like the job that dude did of like
Yeah.
spying on people,
Yeah.
but then like
Through their
pulling out the
iPhones and
curtains
shit.
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
really like, what is up with this? When, like you said, it's like, why 2008? Like, what
Yeah.
a random year to be
Well, because in
to set this in.
our world now, AI would do that.
Yeah,
Like they're probably doing
Yeah.
that right now. They're looking at me and they're like, "What microphone is he using?" But I don't think it's a human on the other side. It's artificial intelligence. So he picks 2008 because he's like, "Well, this is this weird." The other reason I think he picked it too, Jerry, is because the buildings. I think the movie wasn't a huge budget. So instead of doing giant, crazy CGI buildings that looked futuristic, he picks a weird year, and he's like, "Well, that makes sense with like the architecture that you're being
we
shown."
wouldn't have to do anything.
20 years
Right.
in the past.
Right,
Yeah.
right. My major thing, because I want to pick up on something Nick said real quick, is that I didn't think that was what was going on, Nick. That they were effing her brain up until the final scene. Spoilers, where you see her handler. Clearly, her handler was inside the child, right? We can all agree on that. Like,
Yeah.
is that like
Yeah.
obvious?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought so.
This scene right here. This scene right here. When you see that, that's what then made me think, oh, I agree with Nick. The handler knows she's jacked up and also separated her from her family on purpose. And because the husband kind of react when homie shows up at the apartment, he I don't know, he kind of indicates that like she left.
Yeah.
He kind of indicates. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in that movie, there was a few things that I feel like a couple things could have been explained a little bit better to make me really enjoy that film. Like a few little keynotes that were just kind of left off. And I get it for you to kind of make up, like you're saying, Jer, like for you to decide on your own. But just a couple things just kind of needed to be a little bit more clear.
And I do wonder, like, did they end up on the editing floor? Like, I wonder, like, what scenes were shot and didn't make it in. Like, I wonder if there was more explanation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that opening scene with the girl that you just had on screen, Jer, at the nightclub.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that scene's wild. Yeah.
Crazy. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, like I said, I told Addy to watch Possessor. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Crimes of the Future. You know, I might tell BK to watch it because BK was, acting like not acting like, but seemed like he likes Cronenberg, the OG Cronenberg. So it's like, well, Beeks, check out this because he's 80 years old. He's 80, dude.
Yeah.
That's kind of probably, that might be his last film.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I think we after you watched it, we also talked about, you'd pointed out that like this is his first horror movie in like 20 years or something. Like he has not made a horror movie since like the 90s or the 2000s, I guess.
I think it's like 90, late 90s was what it said. I think that possibly, and I don't want to say this because it sounds horrible and morbid, but like maybe he wanted to go out with what made him famous, and he's known for being the horror king. So maybe he was like, you know what? If my last movie should be what I started off with, something creepy and weird.
After like a lifetime of making movies, he's probably like, I'm now the most capable of making a movie, so I'm gonna go back to an old idea, like an old theme. Yeah. And so I think that's really cool that he's like, oh,
he's made this movie before. The title.
Yeah, I've been reading. Yeah, like this is something from his past. Yeah.
There's he made a Crimes of the Future in like I think the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
But it's a total different movie. Has nothing to do with this one, which is so weird. So weird. I really want to watch that just to see what's up with that.
Would you guys be surprised? I mean, obviously this isn't a thing, but I don't know why my brain keeps doing this. Would you guys be surprised if you found out that Possessor and Bliss were in the same universe? There's parts of Bliss that kind of remind me of Possessor, and I don't even know what I mean by that. maybe it's just the colors, maybe just visually, like when Owen Wilson's in his office and everything's all sad, it kind of reminds me of Possessor when she's in front of her house and she's like practicing her smile.
Well, Possessor.
I don't know.
Possessors feels like it's in London, futuristic dystopian London, and Bless is in what feels like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see what you're saying there, Nick. They also the weird how they put the thing up their nose in Bliss to take the drugs.
Yeah.
And they're also in that weird room creating the drugs.
Yeah.
And then the whole brain thing when they go into that fake world in Bliss. I don't know. Man, the fact that we're bringing back Bliss again, man, that
yeah.
That's crazy.
Movie of the year.
Another one leaves you thinking,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, all right, we should go around and each give it a rating. I would say both to me. Well, first off, let me see what Addie had to say. Addie thought it was like a classic art house kind of vibe where they threw in a bunch of like flashy kill scene flashiness just for the
camera tricks and
for the sake of throwing it in there was his whole thing. Like it just felt unnecessary, which I get.
think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair criticism.
I would say Possessor, I would give a C+, maybe a B-, and then Crimes of the Future, part of me wants to give it an A for just being so effed up and weird, but then the other part of me is like, that's like a D film.
I think you're onto something here because that's how I feel. Where I feel like for me, both of these movies are like I might say Possessor C+, Crimes of the Future is B. Like I did like both of these movies, but I also want to say like okay, so that's how I feel. But I think both of these movies accomplish their goals, and because they're trying to be fucked up, they're trying to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So in a way, they're actually both S. That has nothing to do with how good they are. I think both of these movies accomplish their goals. Like, and so I'm like, you got to give both of them a dub.
Yeah.
Because I think they did what they made. Now they were not financial successes. I think that's what also they wanted. But
no, neither of them were.
Yeah.
Jerry, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'd probably give Possessor like a C+. Like it was cool. I enjoyed it, whatever, maybe you could get me to a B-. But Crimes of the Future, man, F all the way. I hated that movie.
Did you turn it off? Go back to what you said about the other one? So is it really a D-?
No, this is a swinging scale, so it's an F.
Hell yeah.
But I wanted to, I texted you halfway through to like, dude, this is awful, and it was like I was only halfway through.
See, I didn't realize that.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, I hated watching it and just was not entertained. I don't know. It was definitely for me personally a swing and a miss. But
I think that's fair.
I totally get that. If you
want to go the route of like it did get a reaction out of me.
Yeah.
It was a like, oh my god, and I was talking about it. We're still talking about it. Just like, oh my god, I didn't like this, didn't like that.
I just love the world he created and the vibe. Yeah.
And so and it didn't connect with me.
Yeah.
But he did do it, but I stick by my F.
Yeah, no. I
love
watch that movie
Love
again.
it.
That's what I'm saying, Jared.
Love it.
I could give it an A, but I also could easily give it a D-. I don't think I don't think I could give it an F because I actually agree with you. An F to me is something I turn off and walk away, or I'm on my phone the whole time. Like
yeah.
And I put this in the chat, but we don't need to get into it. I rewatched that Ninja Turtles from 2014, and to me, that is an F. That movie is bad, bro. That movie is for being Ninja Turtles.
It's not a bad Turtles movie. It's a bad movie.
No, it's a bad Turtles movie. It might be the worst Turtles movie.
Well, I mean, like to qualify it, it's not even that just being a Turtles movie could save it.
It's just bad, dude. It's and you had big name actors in it, and you still dropped the ball. That is an F. I would have turned it off, but I was on my phone the whole time. I was on my phone at the beginning of Crimes of the Future, and then once they started cutting people open and like the chair came out, like I was on my phone during the plastic scene in the very beginning with the little kid.
Yeah.
And then I once you saw Vigo in the bed and everything, I like stopped and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like
100%.
I was tuned in. The only reason I wasn't tuned in was because I was reading online what was going on. Because I will say the one thing about Crimes of the Future, I needed a little help figuring some stuff out. Like I did not understand the chair, and I wanted to. I was like, what's up with this chair?
Because it seemed important, and I was like, I don't know what it's doing. Like, yeah.
So I mean, I Jerry, I'm with you 100%. I would say, like I said, I could go either way. D- for actual movie watching, but A for just doing a vibe. And dude, he had to be 79, 78 years old when he started working on that project. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, for a guy that age, that's crazy, dude.
Sadu, watch both of them, and then we'll wait for the Sadu reviewing.
Don't
watch this.
I
would say Sadu, don't watch either of these.
I can't see Sadu. Sadu will. I think Sadu could finish Pose. Wow. Possessor. Jesus. Possessor. Sadu could finish Possessor. Sadu is not going to make it through Crimes of the Future. I would be surprised if Sadu came back, and if he did, he'd be like, "That was, that was the worst thing I've ever seen." Yeah. I could
see him finding it like funny. I could see Sadu not liking Possessor and being like, "Bro, Crimes of the Future, that's the funniest."
yeah. Because dude, it's so crazy when that dude's dancing with the ears and they're playing the techno.
Oh my, that genuinely made me laugh. That actually made me, especially when the doctor was like, "They're just cosmetic. No, he can't hear out of any of those ears." I was like, this guy's such a clown. Like, I thought that was so, like, I'm like, you're such, like, a TikTok loser. And he's doing his little dance. Like, I was like, oh, my God.
The whole art scene.
Yeah.
From, I don't know, part of me just from working in an art store. And then, like, a lot of it, like, I just was fascinated. I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was telling Jer when I was watching it is that I actually thought Possessor was more fucked up because the violence meant something. People are dying. People are getting hurt. I think the whole point of this movie of like, oh, they can't feel pain, so look, they do surgery. It made it so that I actually didn't care. The fact that Vigo's not like, ooh, ow, you're hurting me. I kind of was like, oh, he doesn't care, so I don't
They're
care.
numb to it. They're numb to it, yeah.
Yes, like, I thought Possessor was 1,000 times more brutal.
Yeah.
But even
though the visuals in Crimes of the Future are way more gory. Way more gory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Crimes it's like autopsy porn.
Grosser. Yeah, 100%.
Especially with the child. Yeah. When they show that child, dude, that's like
and all they're all weird, or it's all because it just looks like a mess in there.
Tattooed.
Like
weird, dude. It is weird, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna rewatch either of these ever.
Yeah,
I mean. Like, maybe when I'm 80, but not anytime. You know what I mean? Like, I'll watch The Fly before I watch this. Or, like, Eastern Promises, if I'm going to watch a Cronenberg movie.
I just think that the reason I think Crimes of the Future is the better movie is that movie is going to stick with me forever. I don't think I'm ever going to forget any of that. I think I'm always going to be remembering Crimes of the Future. It's just going to be there in the back of my mind.
And like we were saying earlier, I think you can tell that Crimes of the Future is made by a guy in the 80s who's been making his movies his whole life. And Possessor is very clearly the second movie of someone. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a very good second movie, but it just doesn't have the craftsmanship that Crimes of the Future has.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell Cronenberg knows David Cronenberg knows what he's doing. Like,
All right, well, that was fun, dude. I don't regret watching either of those. That was a good conversation. That was a good one.
Yeah. Crimes of the Future. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Movies are crazy.
Jared, that was your doing in a way, because if you didn't watch it, then I wouldn't have watched it. Then I feel like Nick D never would have watched it potentially.
Jessica told me about this movie when it came out, and I never saw it until Jer saw it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, and Jer made me like, so you, even though you hated it, you got the rest of us to watch it.
Yeah. By telling you not to watch it, which I think is also
exactly.
I
was already watching
it. You both were.
Yeah.
I think I put it in. You're like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
I watched it because Jer was like, don't bother.
I had just started it when you texted that, and I was like, oh, well, I'm already I'm already in. I will say this too. I did a Costco run in the middle. So I did watch it.
You took a little pause. Yeah,
I took a pause, had an hour break, went to Costco, came back.
Were you
finished
thinking
it.
about it in
Oh,
Costco?
the whole time.
Like,
That's when I did. That's when I did a lot of reading too. I think I figured out the chair during Costco, but I stopped it. It was like midway through the movie too. I did a little reading about like the chair and the bed and how they like what the idea was. But I think Nick's hit on something. You mentioned what's the artist that does Alien, Nick?
Geiger, H.R. Geiger.
I'm a fan of that art. I love Aliens.
Me too.
And because
that aesthetic.
Yeah, and clearly that was the influences here in Crimes of the Future.
Yeah.
Let's move to Barbie. We're going so long with Crimes of the Future. So do watch it. Come back and tell us what you thought.
Exactly.
Barbie.
I think everyone has seen this. All three of us. And I think Sadu's even seen this. So no spoilers here.
Oh.
I'm just going to swing for the fences right now and say movie of the year.
500 million in a week or something like that, and it just reached $1 billion yesterday or 2 days ago.
And I think the reason I think it's movie of the year is it's just so different. I went into the theater. I didn't really know what we were expecting. You know what I'm saying, Nick D?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, me and Nick went at 10:30 in the morning, opening day.
Yeah.
And I was just from beginning of that movie where they do the homage to Space Odyssey to the end of that film, I was taken back and just did not know. I just didn't know. Like I was just so every scene I was surprised by when it turns into the Ryan Gosling does the musical number. I didn't see that.
Genuinely love that song, and I feel like again I didn't see the Mario movie. I've heard the Peaches song. I personally think Gosling's song is better. That's just me. I didn't see Mario. Maybe if I saw Mario, I would feel differently.
It's gonna be hard for you.
I've just heard it. Yeah, I've just heard it.
Because now you've heard it and you didn't see it in the film. Yeah. It's gonna be hard for you.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna change your opinion, but yeah.
Because I'll be walking around the house and I'm like, I'm just Ken. You know, like I love that song.
I think peaches. I think of that a lot too, though. So I think that will be. I hope the Oscars don't drop the ball, and it is Peaches versus Ken. And
I also hope both of them do a mashup live performance. Both of them need to be on stage together.
I think they should go. They should each go separately, but I think that
separate or together. I don't care. Whatever.
Elton John should play the piano, and it should be Jack Black singing with Elton John on the piano playing the Peaches. Because if you in the Mario movie, it's Bowser playing the piano.
Yeah.
I
love it. I think that's
unless Jack Black can bust out the piano and play it, which would be phenomenal.
I like the idea of Elton on the piano and he's on top like Slash in November Rain.
Yeah.
Like I give him a guitar and he's dressed as Bowser on the piano. I kind of love that, you know? Like
and I hope Gosling I bet you though, Nick D, just this is my assumption, Gosling doesn't perform it. They have somebody else perform it for him and he's sitting in the crowd suited and booted. That would be my assumption.
That makes the most sense. I think you're right. I think that makes because he's going to be nominated for a bunch of shit probably. So yeah.
I would assume best supporting actor, which he won't win.
Yeah.
I think that will be maybe an RDJ. I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I'm assuming.
Oh, I was going to say who's he going to go against? You're right, dude. He's going against RDJ.
I heard it could be RDJ or it could be even Damon. Or it could be a lot of people from Oppenheimer, from my understanding.
Yeah.
They'll probably have Oppenheimer will probably get double nominations. I mean, assumably this will be the Oppenheimer year. But my hopes is that, I mean, now we're jumping all around, but I hope Mario at least wins Best Animated Film of the Year. They better.
Yeah.
If they give it to
Jack Black
Pixar.
Could be supporting actor in that too. And then, dude, Donnie Yen from John Wick 4, he's not going to get nominated, but he was great. He's not going to even get nominated. But yeah.
And Nick, they never, to my knowledge, someone could correct me, it's only Sadu in the chat, I don't think an animated film has ever won other... Like, I don't think actors get nominations for animated films. I don't know if someone wants to check that.
That's interesting.
But
I to be honest, I feel like you would know. I don't watch awards.
I watch it every. It's a family tradition. We watch it. We my whole family. We fill out the ballots. We go to war. My mom always wins. She always beats me and my sister because my mom picks out what she read is gonna win. She like reads not the newspaper. She reads She reads that morning and she picks what she's already heard of.
She's into win it.
Yeah,
Into win it. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where I pick from my heart. I'm like, I saw these movies. This is what I want to win. And she's like picking out like the ones she knows is gonna win. Pretty much, she's a cheater. But man, I really really enjoyed Barbie a lot more than I thought I was going to. I wanted to see it because I didn't want to get memed out and have people ruin stuff for me. And I knew
100%.
you knew that was going to happen that first weekend. And I'm so glad we went and saw. They
get nominated.
They don't get nominated. Yes, yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Music, editing, writing.
So Donnie Yen's back in the mix, baby. His name's Donnie Yen, right? Am I being racist and getting his name wrong? What's his name? It's Donnie Yen, right?
Donnie.
Ip Man? Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie.
Were you
What's his
saying
last
Johnny?
name? No, I would say with a D. With a D.
Okay. I think it's that.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Donnie
Because I love that guy. I just want to make sure I'm getting his name right.
I see Sadoo's comment about Ryan Gosling should win. Dude, I'm a Gosling boy, so
yeah,
I would be smitten if he won. I would be smitten if he won. I hope that is what happens. I would also
be smitten if RDJ won, but I think RDJ deserves it, but I want Gosling. You know what I mean? Like RDJ acted his heart out in Oppenheimer, but I want Gosling.
RDJ has one though.
Exactly. Give it to RDJ. Dude, and we have to right the wrong of Blade Runner 2049. Give it to the Gauze for Barbie, you know?
La La Land, baby. We got to right the wrongs of La La Land. Let's go.
Dude, he should also get
Crazy
Best Song
Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Fracture.
I really like Place Behind the Pines. I thought that was a great movie.
I didn't love that one, but I also didn't realize that that's where he met his. I guess they're not married, but his baby mama.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Eva Mendes. They have 2 kids.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that they were together. Like
that. They met on they met on that film.
This might be a controversial or not a controversial. This might be a hot take. You might be like wrong. Personally, don't get me wrong. I thought Drive was great. I thought Place Behind the Pines was way better than Drive, and I like Drive. I thought Drive was cool. But yeah, I liked the motorcycle one more than the Trans Am one. Well,
I'm gonna say something crazy, and I know everyone's gonna disagree with your boy, but I think La La Land's the best.
Yeah. even over 2049.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. You were gonna set the internet on fire with that comment. Get ready for Instagram,
dude. I listen to that. I listen to that music all the time still.
Yeah. That's like in your daily life. Yeah.
And I'm a huge Emma Stone fan, so like, I really like that movie. Like that movie, and the ending. It's the story for another time. Yeah, story for another time.
It's a really good movie. Yeah.
But anyways,
and I kind of hate jazz, and I like that soundtrack. I kind of hate jazz, but yeah, I like that soundtrack.
Let's talk about setting the internet on fire, Nick T. That's a big Nick T just said.
There's some, yeah. I will say there's some jazz I like. Just for the record, there's a lot of jazz I like.
He just said God.
By and large,
jazz.
He just said John Coltrane sucks.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Said Louis Armstrong can go to hell.
Yeah, he was just hating,
there's
dude.
some good jazz. There's some good jazz. But is any of it better than I'm Just Ken? No, it is not.
But yeah, man, I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys thought. I really, really enjoyed it. It's just so different. So different.
I agree with everything you're saying. I can't wait to hear from Jared. The only other thing I'll say is, like, this is not the movie I thought it was going to be. Like, this movie surprised me from beginning to end, and I really liked it. It's way sadder than I thought it was going to be. And it's also, I was telling Jared, last thing I'll say, and then I want to hear from Jared. For a movie about taking down the patriarchy, it's pretty misogynistic. Like, it's pretty, like, Ken and, like, the other Kens are, like, real dickheads, and they make you, like, I liked them. They weren't, like, villains. I was like, yeah, Ken. Like, I was on his side. So it's just weird that the villain in this movie is so likable. I love this scene. That dance scene's amazing. This dance scene's amazing.
But isn't Will Ferrell and Mattel kind of the ultimate bad guy? Like big or like overarching corporations.
Yeah, capitalism.
Yeah.
Taking advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also just depression. Getting older is the bad guy because of with the mom. You know what I mean? Like her bad guy is just growing up. Yeah. Sorry, Jared. What was that?
I like the movie. I don't know. You guys seem to have a lot more to say about it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I like Ryan Gosling, so I thought he definitely stole the show. And like I thought all the Kens were fantastic. And one of my favorite lines, I think, is when he's like, "When I learned it wasn't all about horses, I just wasn't into it anymore." Like I thought that was the
Yeah.
funniest thing ever.
Yeah. Loved
Yeah,
Alan.
I didn't know what to expect from this movie. And like with
Yeah.
the whole like, oh, Barbie Land is real and this and that, that was kind of like, oh my God. But then they make it work and
Yeah.
just kind of all of it. And like I love when they're doing the dance scene in the beginning and set it up and she's like, dude, if you just think about dying and like
Yeah.
the way they just cut to it is just like, I don't know. I thought they did a really great job setting it up. Simu Liu, he was a fantastic hit. Like the
Crushed
Kens,
it.
I don't know, the
Crushed
Kens
it.
were so funny. And then the what does he call it? The Mojo Dojo Casa House. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, just and I think like you were saying, Nick, before, not on the show, the way Ken sings that song and does some of those little like vocal inflections and just like meow, like
Yeah.
I don't know. They like Greta Gerwig did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Is that
Loved
her
it.
name?
And her
Yeah.
husband,
Gerwig.
her
Gerwig,
husband helped write it, or her partner helped write it, and that's the dude that wrote or
Mm.
did Kicking and Screaming.
Oh wow, that's
Oh
crazy.
wow. Okay.
So that's how they got Will Ferrell. Like,
I mean,
it's like he's like, oh, I know that guy. Like, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's done a bunch of stuff, right? Oh, this is what he's written.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love.
Yeah, he helped write Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this dude's done some stuff.
Right on.
Yeah. And I don't want to take Kevin Smith mentioned that. I swooped that from Fat Man Beyond because he pointed that out.
Kevin Smith, we would love to have you on and talk about what other directors wrote what other movie.
Dude, I mean,
please reach out to Jarvis Jerry.
Yeah, please.
Did you guys ever watch this movie?
I did. I did not like
I've
it.
I've never even heard of that. I don't know what that is.
It's crazy. It's intense. Very, very, very intense.
Oh, this is the meme where he punches the wall.
Yeah.
I've seen the
and, like,
meme.
I think this is also where Dudesy always talks about why he hates wine. I'm pretty sure it's from this movie that he.
Okay.
In this movie, yeah, he gets angry a lot. So I think a lot of the Dudesy memes actually come from this.
Okay.
It's a good movie, but I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's a heavy.
It's
movie.
very heavy.
They're getting divorced. They have a kid and then they get a divorce and they don't handle it well. It's a heavy movie.
Well, he doesn't handle it well, especially.
Yeah, yeah.
He really falls apart over the whole thing, but
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a part of that writing team.
yeah, and I think
Barbie.
he's partners with her, or I don't think they're married, but I think they're I don't want to say life partners, but there's something.
Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say about the Kens, because you guys are talking a lot about how much you liked them, the one thing that took me out of the movie time and time again was one of the Kens, and it is because of, I mentioned it multiple times tonight, Kingsley, I think, right? Click on him. And it's because of Invasion War.
Oh yeah. For a second, I was like, "What are we talking about?"
And
Gravik.
The whole time, I thought, man, is there going to be a crossover where
Yeah. He's a scroll.
He's a scroll all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised there isn't a meme. I haven't seen it where someone took the Barbie poster and put him in the scroll makeup, and it's like,
or in like the super scrolls in the dance scene or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the one thing that took me out of the movie. Nothing against that actor, but
he's so happy and sweet in this movie, and then he's like screaming at Sam Jackson in the other one. Like, such a good actor, such range.
And he's like the co-star of Invasion War.
Yeah. Kingsley Ben-Adir, dude, hats off. We hear it over the show. Salute Kingsley.
He played Malcolm X in that movie about Miami that came out last year. It was
sick.
It was a big deal. Click on it, chair. Scroll down. What was the name of that movie?
Something about.
He's in Peaky Blinders. That's
One Night in Miami. Yeah.
Bienvenido a Miami.
Yeah. and he's a fantastic actor. But it's just because I was watching Invasion War as it was coming out, and then Barbie came out like right at the same time as Invasion War was wrapping up. All I could think of when I would see him on screen was he's a squirrel.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
But man, yeah,
And I was like, Gosling's a Blade Runner the whole time. Yeah, exactly. That's Harley Quinn. Like, yeah,
yeah.
this great cast. Yeah,
I do have to say this movie was the first movie since Harley Quinn that I looked at her and was like, oh wow, she's more than just Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
She was really fantastic in this. And I used to think of her as being kind of like, oh, that was your one and done. You were Harley Quinn. But after seeing this, I have a new appreciation for Margot Robbie. I think she's a really good actress after seeing this. And I watched Babylon.
I'll just say, in my personal experience, to me, she was always the Wolf of Wall Street girl. And then she was Harley Quinn. And kind of now she's Barbie. Like, I actually haven't seen that much Margot Robbie stuff. Like, I think I've seen, like, literally 3 movies. Or Birds of Prey.
But she's Harley Quinn.
Oh, and I really wanted to see I, Tonya. That was actually at the top of my list. I'm going to watch I, Tonya.
She's good. Dude, she's really good in Babylon.
I'll watch Babylon.
She might be better than Brad Pitt in it.
Yeah, I'll watch both of those.
Focus was trash. That's because Will Smith just isn't good, bro.
What is Australian Psych? Oh, it's a short. I was gonna say, what even is that? Oh, I've heard of Focus, never saw it. Yeah.
Don't watch it. I'll save you the time. Okay. Not good. I mean,
is she from Australia? Why is she in all these Australian?
Yeah, she's Australian.
Is she Australian?
Yeah, she's Australian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She's from the land down and under. Yeah, she's good in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But it's
Sharon.
I was just about to say, Jerry, she's so barely in it. Who cares, you know?
Like with how much they promoted her in the trailers, it's like she's like 45 minutes into the movie, and then it's only 30 minutes in it, and then there's like another hour left. You know, it's like she's barely in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually really haven't seen a lot of her movies.
Oh yeah. Wait. Oh, Amsterdam. She's good in Amsterdam. That's a good movie too.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's good in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Every time you say Babylon, I think you guys are talking about Amsterdam. Yeah, so that's why I was like, "What is Babylon even about?" Like, because I keep confusing it with Amsterdam.
Yeah, Babylon's a lie though. Babylon is more than just her and Brad Pitt. There's 4 characters. There's 4 characters the movie follows. But we
watch this.
We talk next.
But they're leaning into the 2 prettiest stars. So yeah.
And white people.
Oh, yeah. Hollywood. Racist ass Hollywood.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'd say I'm not going to give it an S. I personally am just going to give it an A+ for Barbie. I really, really did enjoy it. And I do still think it is movie of the year because it's just so fresh and new to me. Just the idea, and it caught me off guard. But yeah, I give it an A. I give it a strong A.
Yeah.
I hope they don't sequelize it and ruin it though.
They're gonna. I've already read that they're doing. Yeah, I think we talked about it. Yeah, maybe not on the show, but Polly Pocket, like all that bullshit. They're turning it into a universe.
That one.
And yeah, they'll try. Whether or not they do another Barbie movie, it's like
she'll pop up.
We'll see. Yeah. No, not even that. We'll see like a kids animated Barbie show. Like this for sure is going to.
Yeah.
Like whether and like maybe they'll get her to do the voice. Like again, whether or not it's this cast a second time, I think we'll be hearing Margot.
But they've been making animated ones, Jerry. Just to back them up a little bit, they've been making animated
for like
ones
40 years,
forever. Yeah. A lot of them were straight to DVD. Like growing up in a house with a little sister.
You're aware.
Yeah, it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder, Jerry, will she voice now in the future? Some of the animated ones will be her. I can't see Gosling wanting to do more though. Like I can see Gosling being like, "That's a one and done."
Yeah.
Or if anything, he'll just be like, "Hey, let me read one more script. You have my voice. Go run what like."
Yeah.
I don't think it's probably as lucrative for him necessarily the way it would be for her.
Yeah.
Also, though, having seen it and like hearing so many like men be like, "Oh my god, that movie's outrageous! Like, cancel it! I hate it!" It's like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are babies. You clearly missed the point of the movie if your critique is like, "I didn't like the way they portrayed men in it." like, oh my god,
That's
I
yeah.
don't get.
Yeah, like because it's like like I said earlier, I actually have like the opposite take on them. I'm like, I thought the dudes were the coolest part of the movie. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't understand what they thought was offensive. Like I didn't think, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I thought the Kins were literally the coolest part. And then Barbie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, man.
I think people just get outraged nowadays for
Yeah.
because they
Well,
just
people,
want to get
dude,
outraged. You know what I mean?
we literally started this show because they're like the idea of like people just get on the internet just to bitch. Like, you
Yeah.
know, it doesn't matter what it is. People were excited about Barbie, so they bitch. People were excited about Oppenheimer, so they bitch. Like that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you know, we're like, let's just go and say something positive. If we liked it, if we didn't, we'll bitch. But you know, let's be
Jerry,
positive.
can
we
you go back to the beach fight scene real quick? I did have one comment. So when we saw the original trailer and this came out, I thought that this was in the original trailer. I thought this was a beach party scene, and it wasn't
Yeah,
until we
yeah.
saw the movie that that I realized it was like a war scene.
Yeah.
And now
yeah,
when
yeah.
you see that image, I'm like, oh wow, that's where they all fight. But
It reads completely differently.
dude, completely differently than when I first saw the trailer. It's just so interesting to me.
Yeah.
So what do you guys give it? What's the Jerry Nick D?
I give it an A plus. I feel like honestly for me, like the only way it could have been like an S, like fucking Batman showed up or something. Like I really liked it. Like I thought it was an amazing movie. Like yeah, like where it's like, oh shit, she was Harley this whole time.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like I thought it was amazing. Like yeah, like and not just Batman, but like Batfleck. You know what I mean? Like that's how you turn it to an S. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I'd probably give it solid A. I highly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun scene. I really liked the sets. I thought
Yeah.
all the costumes, like that scene was super cool. And like again, just the houses in the back and the way, like, I don't know, the way they did everything. Like that was the scene where she mentions it. Yeah, I really liked it. Solid A. Solid A. Like
yeah. I love the
and-
creepy
and-
Barbie. Sorry, you're still talking.
Yeah, I like, I don't have anything of like, oh well, this would have make me bump it to an S. I really don't know, but I enjoyed it. It was cool. I like all the people that were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a movie I had no business liking, this is like so not aimed at me. Really liked it. Really.
I'm gonna preemptively say this, even though we're 6 months away from this happening. I hope, and I haven't seen Oppenheimer, I know, but I hope this at least beats Oppenheimer on set design and costume. You know,
I don't think there's anything this year that can beat it on set design and costume. I'm with you on that.
but dude, period pieces always win costume.
Exactly.
Period pieces, especially when they're like English 1800s dresses and stuff, they always win costume. Barbie better win costume for just all the different versions of the Barbie set design. I mean, that whole, like you said, Jerry, it was practical effects. It was when they were in Barbie Land, it felt larger than life. The beach scenes and stuff, how it looks long. Dude,
that little sparkle thing of the Kens, that's like the only CG in the movie. Like everything is real. You know, like
the one thing that Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin messed up on, they mentioned how the old lady on the bench, and they just showed it right there. And I saw this somewhere else on the internet, so I'm not taking credit for this. That is Barbie, like the lady Barbie, whose mom.
Oh no, wait. That's Danny DeVito. You know how DeVito's wife played the character. Wow.
So I'm pretty sure that's the actual lady that's name is Barbie, whose mom invented the doll.
That's so sweet. That's so
Kevin
fucking
Smith
sweet.
and Mark Bernardin were talking about like, yeah, there's this like random weird scene in the middle where there's like an old lady on the bench that like, and I forget what exactly they were talking about it, but it was like,
and that's when Barbie's crying. It's actually like a really sad scene. Like, yeah, wow.
But I'm almost positive that I read somewhere else or saw somewhere else on the internet that actually is the lady.
Love it.
which is a crazy little cameo. Also, speaking of cameos, John Cena, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Just once again showing us that he is the best professional wrestler turned into an actor. Way better than you, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm sorry, Dwayne. You dropped the ball, and John Cena is just beating you left and right.
Exactly, and like I want to say, Cena, you're in the lead, but I just want to say, Mr. Bautista, I'm rooting for you. I think you're doing amazing work, Bautista.
He is.
Please come on the show and talk about it. You know,
he is, Nick. But I watched.
You're right. Cena's top tier. Cena's killing it. Yeah.
Batista, he's a good role man. You know, like a small role. John Cena, Peacemaker, the TV show, was so good, and he's the lead in it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to bring back that Peacemaker, man. Another season of Peacemaker. Yeah. I really enjoyed that show.
Me too. Again, I'm gonna piss some more people off here. Sorry. Don't like jazz. I also don't like 80s hair metal.
No.
But I will say, Peacemaker changed that. I got into Rat and Poison and like Winger. Like everything that was played in that soundtrack, I found the Spotify playlist. And I have been listening to hair metal because of Peacemaker. So I just want to put that out there. Like, I hated that genre. Peacemaker made me like it.
Oh, am I wrong, Jer? Is it not that lady?
I don't
know. Crazy hot takes, Nick.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the name.
Again, there's some jazz I like. Not to piss really anybody off. And like I said, I do like hair metal now.
I have no idea.
I was trying to look it up, but I don't see it.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing it.
Storied.
I like how
that would make sense because it was a thing of like they gave that scene, I feel, a little more attention. Like, you know, again later when she's like going down the elevator in the 17th, that was just like, oh, I bet that's gonna be the person in the movie who made Barbie. That like just story wise, but because I feel the bench scene, you know, that was a very average.
What is
person.
Barbara Handler? Oh wait, it's not. It's not. Wait.
But they got a woman named Barbie. Well, he's reading that. Jared, what is DeVito's wife's name?
So it's not her, Jerry. It's like a look-alike lady that looks super similar to her.
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah, dude, she's great. No, in Barbie, she's great, but I just mean in general, I love her as an actress and as a comedian. Like, she's the best.
It's Anna Roth is the actress who plays. It's supposed to. I think it's supposed to represent that though, because then there's a photo.
Yeah.
I'm on Insider, Jared has an article about it, and they have the Barbara Handler, the actual lady that's, you know, Barbie, and then the image of the lady on the bench. And dude, clearly it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's there.
I like to think it is now. Like I like your description more.
Kind of ruins it for me now that I know it's not.
Yeah. I'm going with Kev's story. I like Kev's story more. Yeah.
No, Kev actually, they didn't understand the old lady on the bench or whatever.
Oh, my bad.
They didn't know that, but I had seen some like I swear it was like on the internet somewhere.
Internet rumors, man.
Internet rumors.
Yeah, internet
Barbie
rumors
is a win for the summer, and the Beach Bum is not.
Yeah, and wait till next week when I talk about how Ninja Turtles was even better than Barbie.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me do a little house cleaning really quick. The last time I was on the show, which was like a month ago at this point, I very confidently was like, Tom Cruise is the winner of the summer. I want to walk that back. I was very wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I like put it out there that I was like, dude, Mission Impossible is the summer movie. No. Sorry, Mr. Cruise. Please come on and talk about how great it is to be second place, though. We would love to have you on the show.
I still really enjoyed Mission Impossible, though.
Exactly. Yeah, like
I really enjoyed it.
But I don't think it made $1 billion in a week.
No,
So
no,
yeah.
no,
I loved Mission Impossible.
no. That was a different kind of good time, you know.
Yeah.
And score wise, it was better than Barbie.
Yeah, I agree. I like a good score.
I did not like the ending track. I thought it was awkward because
I wanted the original. Yeah.
it was me and Nick D, right? It was a lady with 3 young, maybe like middle school, high school girls on this side of us, Jerry. And on the other side of Nick D was a mom with like a really young girl, like an elementary school girl, maybe a little older, right? Also,
No, yeah, there were kids in the audience.
me and Nick D are like the only two older men, just looking like creepers.
And like the classic, the patriarchy. We took like the 2 best seats, like dead center. Like it's like a movie for women, and we literally took the 2 best seats. We're such pieces of shit. Like those little girls should have sat there.
But then that song starts at the end with Nicki Minaj and that lady from New York. What's her name? Ice Spice.
Yeah.
And it's just cursing up a storm, man. And I'm like, look, I remember I looked around. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like little kids.
I just got to say, too, my iPad just said 5%. So if all of a sudden I drop out, it's just because my iPad is dead. Just put it out there.
Yeah, there was not a single kid when Karina and I went and saw it.
Oh, or you know what? Here, I'm plugged headphones. I'll plug it in.
That's interesting, Jerry. There was a lot of little kids.
But like Karina pointed out, it's like we went at 8:45 at night, but it was a Saturday, to where I was like, well, at least I would have thought like teens, something. But like it was all adults, our young age.
Me and BK, when we went to see Ninjas on opening night, it was packed full of parents with little kids. So much so that there was constantly kids being taken out to go to the bathroom. That movie's only an hour and 40 minutes, but kids still had to go, So like a couple times people walked right by us to go to the bathrooms, and one parent and kid, dude, there was like 10, 20 minutes left in the movie. They legit left. Probably because it was already, we saw it late, Jared. Like we saw it at 8. So it was like 9:30. They probably had to get home by 10 for bedtime or something. So legit, they missed the last 20 minutes of Ninjas.
Was there anything that you would have considered maybe a little too scary for a little kid? Like
in Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Oh no, Barbie is way more of an adult film than Ninja Turtles.
Wow,
way more. Yeah. Ninja Turtles. We'll get into it next week, but it's fantastic. But it's definitely made for kids. Definitely made for kids.
Yeah, I really want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Jerry, you for sure should see it because more than any other Ninja Turtles movie, it is super New York. Like they even like egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese. We gotta get one. Da 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 da. Like hella like New York references and all this stuff. So they're way more New Yorkers in this one.
Yeah, bodega cats. Got any bodega cats in there?
They go to a bodega. I don't think there's a cat. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll confirm if there's a cat or not.
I think it starts off with them going to a bodega. Like the movie starts with a bodega.
Yeah.
I have questions, but I'm like, I'll just.
Yeah, we'll save. And you should see it, dude.
I feel like a bunch of questions.
I want to go again. I love the Ninjas.
Drive-in or the.
That's the one thing that, like, to go back to the Barbie conversation. I didn't go into Barbie to me, that's a toy my sister played with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Paige toy. That's not a me toy. So, like, Ninja Turtles was a me toy. That's what I loved as a child, man. So, for me, it's like, I'm going to give Ninja Turtles a higher rating almost than Barbie just because I love them so much. Also, John Cena. 100%. John Cena, both those movies.
Oh, that's right. You remember saying that's awesome.
John Cena plays either Bebop or Rocksteady. One or the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll get into it. I just want to go off about it, but we'll get into it next week. Everyone go see that. We'll be back next week. We'll talk Ninjas and a bunch of other stuff. We got to talk about the Mac, Jerry. We both finished that up.
Oh, yeah.
There's Nick D's got a bunch of some anime stuff we got to talk about, right? Or not anime, but Japanese films that you've been watching. We got a lot of stuff next week. Another good episode.
I had some like nostalgia stuff with Nickelodeon.
Oh, that's right. That's right, Jerry.
Gladiators. Yeah.
And Subway. The Subway guy. Jared.
Yeah, well, Nick like briefly talked
Dude,
about it.
I
We don't
don't
really.
like
That was.
so long ago at this point. Like, oh yeah, like I still have to watch
Yeah,
that.
that was just that was crazy. That's a if you want to know anything about Jared and like his like scandal and stuff, like that is so crazy because they kind of go into details about some of the stuff he
It's
did.
crazy.
And, like one of the moms.
I was telling Mom
it's
about
wild.
it today. Mom and I were having a
it's heavy.
conversation about that doc.
Am I wrong to say this? We don't need to get into the deets. I know a lot about it because H3 did a whole giant segment on it a while ago when it came out. But he's getting out of jail. I think he's like, he's not life in prison. He's like getting out.
No, he gets out in like 4 years. I think
Yeah.
it's like 2027, something like that.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Is doled out before then? What the fuck? That's crazy.
He should be life in prison.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Like not even like whatever judge gave him that sentence should be in jail. It's like what?
Well, so,
whatever.
you
now
know,
now
I
it's turned
know-
into a weird show. Shut it off before I say something.
But I know that was just the
Real
thing they
political
briefly
all of a
talked about
sudden.
at the end of it. Of just like, did Subway do anything to lessen that type of thing or whatever? Like, how did they not know for so long and blah blah blah? So yeah, who knows? Who knows what
I don't
happened
believe
behind closed doors?
that Subway knew. I don't believe for a second that Subway's like, oh, we had no idea.
And
Well-
again, like there's like actual audio recording of Jared talking about the stuff,
Yeah.
like firsthand account, and so it's like he talked about it. He openly talked about this stuff, so it's like you have to assume someone knew part of the company.
It's a really hard subject because Subway, you got to imagine, it's like what, 100,000 employees worldwide.
Maybe even more. I wonder. That's probably a good estimate. Like, yeah, like I wonder.
And like,
Can we
but it's like
is that a Google?
the top tier corporate level. How many of them knew about it? You know,
Like it's. I wouldn't even doubt if it was like 0.0001%, but I bet his handler knew.
I would
Maybe
even
not.
say it wasn't all 5 of the main corporate table, but at least 2 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just throwing it out there.
His agent.
His
knew,
agent-
or
his
whatever,
agent
like you
for
said.
sure
His
knew, yeah.
handler, 'cause he was a part of it too.
Yeah, he was involved.
was a
He
part
was
of it.
involved. Yeah, yeah, he was involved.
400,000 employees.
Wow, dude, good guess.
Well, it's the largest fast food chain in the world, right?
Yeah. Because I think like some countries just don't eat beef. Like Subway's got something for everyone,
I
Do you-
think
no matter
it's,
what protein or vegetable you. Yeah.
Where is it? I feel it's like China or something like that. China or Russia, like they're super big on Subway.
When I was in
Or,
Japan,
like,
I didn't get any, but I walked by one and the stuff on the windows. They have a bunch of crazy sandwiches at the Subway Japan that we just don't have. Like I was like, oh, they've got like shrimp and like whitefish and like weird seafood Subway sandwiches that we don't have.
So I just looked it up real quick. So real quick, I mean, I know we're wrapping up. We're at our allotted time, but boys, just guess real quick what the top 5 American fast foods are. Anyone got guesses on this?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I've
dude,
looked it up a bunch, so
throw
actually.
them
No.
in the chat real quick.
You know, Jerry?
I know KFC is a big
Hey,
one.
I was gonna say
like
no
top
order.
3,
Yeah, I'm going KFC.
and then like Taco Bell is also in there, right?
KFC is not in the top 5 for United States.
What about
Oh, okay.
For USA, USA.
Okay. For USA, then I'd say like McDonald's.
Number 1.
Burger King?
Burger King is in the
uh,
Burger King's in the top 10, Nick D, but not in the top 5.
What is it, like Del Taco or something? A green
It-
burrito?
it's a drink is what I'll say for number 2. So think about that. It's on every corner.
Slurpees? Oh, Starbucks.
Starbucks is number 2.
Dunkin'?
Subway is number 3.
And then is there a Dunkin' Donuts on there?
Dunkin' is number 8.
Oh, all right. Okay,
Burger King 7. Dunkin's 8. Number 4, T-Bell. And
okay,
then
that makes sense.
and then
And
number
hold on. guess 5. Let us guess 5.
All right, 5.
All right, so we've got tacos, burgers, sandwiches, and coffee covered. What are we missing?
You want the big hint?
Yeah, give us a little hint. Teeny tiny hint.
They hate gay people.
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is number 5.
That's where the chicken was represented. Because I was going to
Yeah.
say Popeye.
Yeah.
KFC is huge international because I've seen KFC everywhere. Like in Australia, they're all over the place. They don't have Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But on America's list, this is just the first website I pulled up. It puts it puts KFC at 14. KFC is under Sonic.
Which kind of makes sense because besides like our dad, I don't know anyone who likes KFC. I think as Americans, we can all agree.
This is a poll from this is units, whatever, million units, sales of million units. And the survey was from 2018.
Wow.
McDonald's.
Really Burger King is in top 5. That blows my mind.
It's Mickey D's, Starbucks. I'll just go through the top, whatever. Hold on. This is interesting. It's Mickey D's, Starbucks, Subway, T-Bell, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's at 6, dude. Burger King at 7, Dunkin' at 8, Domino's at 9, Panera Bread at 10.
Wow, I would not have considered them fast food, but you're right, they are. They're full on. They got a drive-thru.
Pizza the Hut at 11, Chipotle at 12, Sonic at 13, KFC at 14, Arby's at 15, Little Caesars at 16, Dairy Queen at 17, Jack in the Box at 18. This list is fun. 19 is Panda Express, Popeyes at 20, Sadu's favorite, Papa John's at 21, Whataburger at 22, Jimmy John's 23, Hardee's is also Carl's Jr., right? That's crazy.
That should count as the same thing.
Hardee's is 24, Carl's Jr. is 28.
That doesn't even make sense. That's cheating.
I mean, this list is long. It's 50. White Castle's number 50.
Imagine how bad you would feel as Jack in the Box or any of those other ones knowing that Arby's outranks you. How the fuck is Arby's number 9?
Papa John's or Papa Murphy's is number 40.
That is.
This list is fun.
What's dead last?
Dead last is White Castle.
Dude, that should have been Arby's. That is crazy. And then White Castle 39. What?
You know what it probably is for White Castle?
I hate.
Nick, I bet you White Castle doesn't have enough locations because this is by unit sold or whatever.
Right, because and like the closest one to us is Vegas. Yeah,
like, dude, Church's Chicken's number 42. Now, the only reason I bring up Church's Chicken is because there's quite a few of those in Oakland. There was one down the street from my apartment. There's one by There's one by Oakland Stadium. I've never been. I lived next to a Church's Chicken. Never went because it looked so run down and ghetto.
Yeah,
and it was like right around the corner, Jerry. When you leave my house, instead of getting on the freeway, if you went right. It was right across the street from Burger King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Never went. I never went.
Yeah.
Sparrows on the list? I always like Sparrows. I like Sparrows more than like Little Caesar.
No, but my favorite, El Pollo Loco, is number 35.
Nice.
And In-N-Out is 34.
That is controversial. Forget my jazz comment. People aren't gonna like it.
Oh, don't say it, Nick. Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Are you going to say what I think you're about to say?
I'm not gonna.
In-N-Out's not that good. Here's the thing, and we'll wrap it up on this. I'm not going to disagree with you, Nick D, but In-N-Out for the price and comparing it to other fast food burgers.
And yeah, like the quality of the food. My only. I have 2. The line, not about it, and then 2. I don't like their fries.
The fries are horrible.
Yeah, I don't like they taste like cardboard. I think the burgers are good though.
I stopped getting the fries. I would order 2, and I stopped getting the double because I like the layering of the food. So what I would do is I would get no fries. I would just order 2 burgers and a drink.
100%. That's the move. That's the move.
2 singles.
Yeah.
That's the 2B In-N-Out order. All right, let's wrap it up here. Great, fantastic show. Yeah.
Sadu, thank you so much for coming out. And we cannot wait for your review of Crimes of the
Sadu wrote, but Nick D is mostly right. Wait. Nick D, don't doubt the quality of Arby's in the South. I hear Arby's in Richmond, VA is. I can't, dude. Arby's just the menus to do. I can't agree with you, bro. I'm sure that the quality's good, but like what they're making, I just has no appeal to me. I don't like nacho cheese, especially on a sandwich. It just seems disgusting.
Yeah, like I'm not a roast beef guy.
Once in my life,
yeah,
and it was a beef, and it wasn't good. So it's like I'm not even basing it off like a turkey or something. The only thing I've ever had was a BLT, and they're BLT.
I mean, I get what Sadu's saying here, but just it doesn't appeal to me. That is, I would rather eat Taco Bell any day of the week, T-Bell any day of the week. I mean, dude, I hate to say it, I don't eat fast food, but every now and then, I still go and get a little T-Bell.
Hell yeah!
It's like the one thing.
The same thing as In-N-Out, where when you look at what you're eating at Taco Bell, you can see that you're like, oh, it's mainly vegetables. Like, out of all the fast food choices, I do believe Taco Bell is a better choice just for, you're not putting a lot of, I mean, you're putting garbage in your body, but you're not putting the level of garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see vegetables. Yeah.
It'd be hard. I've never eaten Arby's. We've been, and I just didn't order.
Yeah, you're not missing.
Yeah. All right, dudes. We'll do we'll have to do a fast food tier list, Jerry. We'll have to do that too. Always Sunny tier list, fast food tier list coming up. That will be controversial, dude. People are gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sadu, I get that you're not standing up for Arby's. I'm not. We're about to wrap up, but Sadu, we know you're not standing up for Arby's. I know what you're saying. That we totally get what you're saying. Yeah. All right, Sadu, thanks for watching, brother. Maybe we'll do a Sadu review later this week. So Sadu will be on here and he can explain his Arby's stance then. Until then,
S tier rating.
Go see Ninja Turtles because that's what I'm going to be talking about. Nothing's holding me back from next week.
Yeah.
Peace.
I don't think you did the intro today.
Oh,
Jared, hit us with the. You didn't say your catchphrase.
Over the show. I'm Tubi, Nick D, live from New York City. Jarvis Jerry. Wow, Jerry, you're right.
Beep boop bop boop. It was the thing of like, oh, I didn't say that today.
65 episodes and we haven't single
No, we.
Yeah, we still got it.
Yeah.
We'll quiz people. What was different about this week's episode?
Yeah, dude. Make a note. What episode did the intro come at the end? Like that's a trivia thing for us to do at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's because we were already talking about stuff when we started, so I got like distracted. You're right, Jerry.
Yeah,
well,
we just went right into it.
Hey, at least you called it out before I actually pressed the end button.
Yeah, at least we got it. It's on there.
I'm pressing it now. Peace out.